Oh. God, that fucked up real bad.
Oh.
Son of a bitch. What the hell was that all about? Damn it. I gotta do that over again, sorry. Stop that. God damn it. Ah, I fucked it up. Alright. Ready to do that again?
Mm-hmm.
Get movie buzzed! Get movie buzzed! Get movie buzzed! Get movie buzzed! Get your buzz on with your whole sack cock. He's smoking weed and sipping brews with the tube on. Movies all night, alright, get high now. Getting stupid up in here, drop it down, dog. Take your pants off and rock it like your grandpa. And watch the latest episode of Movie Buzz, y'all. Cocks in your face. Cocks in your face. Cocks in your face.
He can't help it. That's my last name.
Here now.
And in your ear now. Yep, that's one of the new submitted intros from Crack a Smile. So check him out on Facebook and all around. He's trying to get that name recognition going.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Movie Buzzed. We have a special guest host today. Her name is Megan Armstrong. She's never been on the show. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you.
No, thanks for being on.
Yeah,
It'll
no
be
problem.
exciting.
It will be. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's Harry Potter Day. It's 420 Day. I think it's Hitler.
perfect.
It's Hitler's death day, right? Something like that. Or his
That is
birthday.
his birthday.
One of those two. Well, and then there's Easter, right? Did I already say
and
that?
this is the anniversary of Columbine as well, I
Oh,
believe.
jeez. School's not in on Sundays, though, so it's not the
No.
technical anniversary, but...
The date,
I gotcha.
believe.
I'm just kidding. That was a horrible joke. The reason we have Megan here today is because she is a Harry Potter specialist. You're all about it, aren't you?
I do. I really, yes. I really enjoy Harry Potter.
I really am. That's awesome. It's a weird setup here today because we have a record 4 call-in interviews, and none of them are related to me, and I'm not friends with any of them, so that's a record. And there's also a record of preparation time. Like, I've prepped for this fucking thing for about a month now. Damn near.
And I'm your first female.
You are? That is...
guest.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even consider that one because I'm sexist. So, that's not really a record. No, it is the first female guest host. I've had my mom on as an interview guest, but never as a guest host, so... Congratulations. You're breaking all sorts of records here.
I like it.
Also, it's the first time I've ever eaten an edible on the show, so I might get loose. I myself just recently got into it. My mom, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to invest in the fucking 8 movies. I know there are books, which is a whole nother level, but I'm going to invest in the in the 8 movies, and I did. They're pretty fucking good. I had to kind of push through the first, like, half an hour of the first one, because it's like kind of like a goofy, cutesy kids movie. But then all of a sudden they're in, like, mortal danger. And then I start liking it.
Well, by the end of this, I think I'll have to ask you some questions because I've always wondered, not watching or not reading the books and then watching the movies, if you would actually understand the entire story because there's so many holes.
I can answer your question now, no. Because usually what I do with the movie is after I watch it, I'll go online to IMDb and look at all the trivia and then Wikipedia the shit out of it. So there is a lot of stuff that's left out, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like a lot of inside stuff that I'd like to know that I don't. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
So congratulations. I'm using you for your knowledge.
I'm totally cool with
Then
that.
you can get out and go home.
Okay.
Okay. It's fun to be, we kind of joke around and stuff on the show, and it's fun to do that. But it's also equally as important to talk about some serious issues. So we're going to have some fun, but we're also going to be a little serious, if that's okay with everybody.
Hello,
Hello, is this Sarah?
this is.
We have Sarah Wilkinson on the Movie Buzz phone line, and we have some questions for you if you don't mind. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, you're welcome. I was telling my co-host in the audience earlier, this has been a lot of prep. We've been talking for like 2 or 3 weeks now, so it's all finally
Good.
come to this. Yeah, I know. It's excellent. It's a special edition today, Harry Potter 420 episode, and we decided to get on to the more serious side of the 420. And I understand that your stance isn't necessarily for the legalization of marijuana, because it's already kind of heading that way. But you're leading a different kind of crusade. And if you would, elaborate on your position and how your daughter's illness comes into play.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I guess, I am for legalization, but my crusade, as you put it, kind of is heading in a different direction. There's been so many studies, and unfortunately, they're just case studies. It's one study here and one study there, proving the medicinal benefits of marijuana, cannabis, as you will. I prefer to call it cannabis. I kind of find marijuana a little derogatory. That's what, the government started referring to it as in the 30s.
Okay. I don't mind doing that.
Yeah. So my crusade is, it started obviously with seeing the results in my daughter and in other children as well, but to allow pediatric cases access to medicinal cannabis to treat a variety of different ailments. And unfortunately, it's a very taboo subject. Doctors don't want to discuss it. There are a lot of parents, when you are discussing it with them. I talk to everybody about it. I talk to cashiers about it at the corner store. I tell everyone. And they're a little put off on it, saying, oh, my God, you give your daughter marijuana. Well, yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. She's been on dozens of pharmaceuticals, none of which have worked. She had her first seizure at 29 minutes old. And from there, it didn't stop. She just continued to seize. She would seize up to 100 times a day. At her worst was about 300 times a day. No drug has ever completely controlled her seizures. She did start going into what's called status epilepticus at 11 months old when she went into acute liver failure from Dilantin. So that is an anticonvulsant. It was used to treat her seizures, and it threw her into acute liver failure, which liver failure, as most people know, is generally chronic. It happens over time. And with my daughter, Maya, it was acute. It was very quick. It sent her into a status episode, and that seizure lasted 2.5 hours, and we would never have known. We would have lost her had she not had that seizure. From there, we just, the seizures continued, the med game continued, and she would go, her status seizures would come every 6 to 8 weeks, and they would last anywhere. Her shortest one was her first one, which was 2.5 hours, and her longest was over 22. At 22 hours, I just stopped counting because I think I would have lost my mind had I continued to keep counting the hours.
When I was doing my research, I started reading about that. Just the number, the volume was intense, let alone the duration of each, but just how many she was having. And
right.
That obviously changed now that
It did.
You changed the...
Yeah, well, in July, she went into another status epilepticus, and that one was approximately 10 hours or so. And again, at that point, when they're seizing for that long, they are put into a medically induced coma. And oddly enough, they're given ketamine.
Isn't that a horse tranquilizer?
It is a horse tranquilizer, yes.
Jesus.
And she was given 1,300 mics per hour over... and it was an infusion, a ketamine infusion. So it wasn't like she just got a dose of ketamine. She was given an infusion. So a continual infusion of ketamine, of a horse tranquilizer, essentially. And as well as midazolam, which is also Versed, and that is a benzodiazepine. And that was to keep her in a fully suppressed coma. Those were the only things, fully suppressed comas were the only things that controlled those seizures. And I looked at my husband, and we had discussed quality of life many times. Now, a lot of times every time Maya would do this, she would come out of the ICU and, we'd end up at home and she would go back to her normal self. Yes, she's disabled, but she's very happy, very animated. She can play with toys, things like that. But for us, it was always quality of life. And I just looked at my husband and I said, I can't do this anymore. And I can't do this to her anymore. This is not fair. She is on a ventilator. She's on life support. Again, just like she was 2 months prior to that, and 2 months prior to that. When is enough enough? When do we let her go? And I was ready to sign the NRO, which is a non-resuscitation order here in Canada, and, speak with the palliative team. And it was actually, I had spoken to a few parents involved in the medical cannabis kind of, social media networking. And they had said to me, why not just ask? And I knew, I live in Alberta, which... I don't want to offend any of our American listeners, is what we fondly refer to as the Texas of Canada. We are very conservative. The Conservatives have been in power for 43 years, so you can imagine how difficult it is to get people on board with this. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to ask. There's no harm in asking. We've reached the end of our pharmaceutical rope. We've tried every drug. So I did ask her neurologist, her pediatric neurologist, who actually comes from the Mayo Clinic, and he now practices out of Alberta Children's Hospital. And I said, listen, this is what I want to do. I have been doing reading on it for a good, it was about 6 months to a year prior, and this is what I want to try. We have nothing left to do, and if I don't try it, I won't forgive myself. If I try it and it doesn't work, okay, we've done what we can. But if I don't try it, I'll always have that what if. And he signed the B1 forms, which is at that time under the MMA program in Canada. It's what you needed to send off to Health Canada, get your license, et cetera, et cetera. It's a federal program. It's not provincial. So it's all across Canada as opposed to in the States. Your states kind of run your laws in regards to your medical marijuana laws or your legalization. Here it's a federal program. And he did. He signed off I had an entire speech plan, and he signed off without me having to get into any of it. And he just said,
Very nice.
I don't think it will help, but I don't. And what he said, and I kind of had to take that and listen to it carefully and kind of read between the lines. And he said, it's not going to hurt her. I thought,
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay then. And
Yeah.
so within 24 hours of administering it, she stopped seizing. Within 24 hours.
That's incredible. Wow.
It was amazing. And
Yeah,
I
no,
thought,
I can't even imagine how you felt.
I cried for, I don't know, I still cry over it. All of the suffering that she went through and didn't have to. Just because of a social stigma around a plant, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. And the provincial and federal governments all across Canada are coming down very difficult because the Tories, our conservatives, are in power right now. They're basically saying, no, this is not, this has no medicinal benefits. And I'm saying, look at my daughter. Look at her. Not only is she not seizing, she now is eligible for orthopedic surgery that she was never eligible for before. She got her clubfoot fixed, hamstring lengthening, tendon release surgery. We've ordered her walker now. Something that was never in the cards before. She has started to feed herself. She's starting to speak. She's saying mama. And that, to me, I promised myself I wouldn't cry. But it was the absolute most incredible. I remember as an infant even, and, growing up, she's 8.5 now, I would put my mouth on her mouth and just say the words mama, just in hopes that she would say it. And within a few months of her starting cannabis, she called me from the kitchen, and I just thought, it's a one-off. And then she did it again. And so I came into the room, and I looked at her, and I said, are you saying mama? And she was sitting in her favorite chair, and she said, mama. And she put her arms out, and I lost it. I just lost it. And I called my husband at work sobbing, and he actually thought something horrible had happened. And I'm talking like, I don't cry when I call him from the ICU, so he actually thought she had passed. And when I actually got it out, why I was losing it.
No.
He said, you just gave me a heart attack. I'm going to take 10 minutes, and I'm going to call you back. I thought something horrible had happened. And, now her favorite word is no, which I'm really not liking that too much, but I am at the same time, like I said to her, she was having a temper tantrum the other day, which is something that she wouldn't do before, she was just drugged out on all these pharmaceuticals, and she was having a temper tantrum. So I'm actually finding myself having to discipline her where I didn't have to do that before. And I said, are you done now? And she looked at me she was angry. And she said, no.
Oh, no.
And everybody just looked at me, and we all just kind of laughed. And I thought, okay, then you're not done. We'll keep going. But it was just fantastic. I mean, her quality of life, the entire family's quality of life has improved so much I can't even begin to explain it. We can go places. We're going to I live very close to the mountains, so we're going to Banff this week for 3 days, and that's just something that would never happen before in a hotel. She hated it. She hated being somewhere new. She didn't like people. It was just all the side effects from all of the medication. She was just rotten and seizing constantly. It was no fun for anybody. And now we can do things as a family. I don't have to worry. I can go out. shopping with a friend without calling home every 20 minutes asking my husband, is she okay? Is she okay? Is she okay? What did she have for lunch? How much did she eat? Did she do this? Did she give her her meds? I don't have to do that anymore. I don't wake up in the morning racing to her room, even though I do have a monitor to see if she's still breathing, because that was my reality for 8 years. Our entire family's reality for 8 years until this.
What can you do in order for the government, wherever you are, to change their mind if they're not going to listen to stories like that and not be moved? It just blows my mind.
Well, see, and I completely agree, and for me there is no option but for the government to hear me, because I won't stop talking. I realize that there are a lot of people and parents that are afraid to come forward, because I have put myself out there as a target. I live in a smaller town in Alberta, and I don't care. So I will put myself out there, and I will say, no, we will not stop this treatment. And to be quite frank with you, if it became illegal tomorrow, if they said, the medicinal program, we're going to discontinue it, I would continue to give it to my daughter, because I've seen such improvement with her that I won't stop. And I have made no secrets about that at all. I'd be willing to go to jail for this cause, and because I've seen such great results, not just with me, but with some of my friends in the community that have been diagnosed with the same thing Maya has been, and I've found doctors for them that are willing to sign off, and they're seeing excellent results as well. They're seeing the same results as we're seeing. So I'm just not going to stop talking. They will hear me, and eventually, we've got the movement, it just keeps moving forward. So now it's not just for legalization. Now we've got moms on board, and we've got parents on board, and we've got, when 80% of your country wants this legalized, they're going to have to start listening at some point.
Right, I was doing research, and the group of people that is behind this movement is growing every day. You're not alone. That's for damn sure.
No, absolutely not. And it's great, because when I was, I guess wet behind the ears, I really didn't know what I was doing. Dosing-wise, I didn't know. I use it in a coconut oil infusion with her. I don't use FICO, because when we first could get our hands on it, all they had was a very high THC. There is no, and I'm not for, she uses a 1-to-1 ratio right now. I understand some parents don't want to give their children THC, but when I look at, like you said, they've given my daughter whole drinks. Am I afraid of a little THC? Absolutely not. But I do know that THC can also induce seizures like any other anti-epileptic drug on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one has the ability to increase seizures in people and children prone to seizures. It just depends on what is causing the seizures. So she could be prescribed a drug tomorrow and seize tenfold as to what she was before. And that can happen with THC as well. So I did watch her. And I didn't want to make the full extract cannabis oil, not to mention it's illegal, I should mention that. It's illegal in Canada. I didn't want to make that because I didn't want to make the THC content too high. But I did know with the coconut oil, the CB1, the CB2 receptors, and how great the coconut oil in and of itself is for the brain. I thought that would be the best route to go, and that's the route that we went. And I asked her neurologist, can you give me some direction as to dosing? And he looked at me and said, no, I'm sorry, I can't. We have nothing. We have no data to back this up. So I just basically talked to other parents.
Can you elaborate on the 1-to-1 ratio? What exactly does that mean?
Oh, it's same percentage, CBD to THC. There's obviously a lot of, you hear with seizure kits, everyone's talking CBD. And I think that it is a great cannabinoid. Studies that I've read, CBD is great for seizure control, but it also, it's starting to come out that it's not the best at providing long-term seizure relief, and that some THC to some extent is needed. And so she is on she uses Nordal, that's the strain she's on right now, and it's a 1-to-1, and I've had it lab tested out of BC to make sure, that it is what it is, kind of says it is. It's
right.
Independently lab tested. And it works very well for her. But, in other kids with seizures, perhaps a higher CBD content would work, or a higher THC content would work. It's about getting these clinical trials. And so we've got groups that we can go from and go, okay, well, this percentage-wise of THC to CBD, or even just THC works for these types of children with these types of genetic mutations, and this works for these types of kids, and this works for these, types of pediatric cancers and things like that. We need these clinical trials to get going, and we do have a liberal leader who is the son of our most beloved prime minister of all times that will be running in the next election, and he has made a campaign promise to legalize marijuana. Hopefully he follows through on that.
We here in the States have heard that as well. So I really hold out hope for you guys, but it is definitely it's a political tactic as well, which is kind of sad when you look at it.
It is.
It's people's lives.
He has also admitted to, he is very open about it, and he has admitted to smoking pot as an MP, like even as in office, he's admitted, and he said, yes, I have, as an MP, I've smoked it. He's younger, I don't know, his father, Pierre Trudeau, was also very controversial, and he kind of is following in his father's footsteps, and I am hoping that it's not a tactic. I am hoping that he does come through on it, and his reasoning actually is to get rid of the cartels, because we do have cartels growing up all in through BC mountains, and we get rid, and that is a very good point. We legalize it. We do get rid of that aspect of the cartels. We don't need them anymore. It's just more accessible to general rec smoker.
Well, that's one of the problems that we're running into now. 2 states have legalized it for commercial use, and the cartels are actually bringing more pressure into those states, and it's because it's not a federal thing; it's just a statewide thing. So they can, pressure these individual states instead of just being pretty much null and void because the entire nation legalizes it.
And that's exactly it. That's why I do think we do have kind of a leg up with that being a federal program. Just saying, no, we're just going to legalize it across the board, and if you're going to put pressure on the entire country.
I like it.
Is that, Mexico isn't that, I don't think they're that tough. The cartels are pretty rough, but I don't think they're that powerful. So,
plus the logistics of it all.
Kind of move on to their meth and their coke and whatever else
great.
Want to sell. But as far as marijuana, they're not going to get too far here. And there is I find a large difference in the culture. The cannabis culture between Canada and the States. I do find that.
Absolutely.
A lot of our police tend to look the other way. In Alberta, not so much, but I grew up in Ontario, and it was just, unless you made a huge deal out of it, and, you had a giant grow up, and you were just being, what we fondly referred to when I was, 16, 17 as a heat score, they would leave you alone. They didn't really care. It was more of a pain for them.
In the states that are legalizing it, it's crazy how the authorities are just, they're like, okay, no worries now.
And I think that's a fantastic thing. I know I do have a brother-in-law who is a police officer with York Regional Police, and he said, given the two, alcohol or cannabis, if he had to legalize only one, if only one could be legal, he said cannabis. And I asked him why, and he said, because I've never been called to a domestic where cannabis has been involved. It's kind of a good point. When you think about it, it really is.
There's a lot of points like that where it's just, you just want to beat your head against the wall sometimes because people don't understand. Yeah. You had mentioned that you had some problems with the authorities. So what kind of attention has your story going public garnered for you personally?
Well, I've been pulled over 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I've lived in this community for 2 years. And never once been pulled over for going 7 and 8 over.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's...
No, I know. It is a little bit ridiculous.
It's absurd, yes.
I did have... My license was expired. It was terrible. I'm not even going to... I will be completely honest here. I wanted to lose another 20 pounds before I got another picture taken. So I just kept putting it off, and I just didn't really think about it. And I was pulled over specifically for that, and then it clicked. When they said that my license was expired, before I even gave them my license, I thought, okay, they can run the plates. I know officers run your plates when, they're sitting behind you, and okay, the logical conclusion would be that I would be the one driving the car. But then I thought, this car is not registered in my name. It's registered in my husband's.
Oh.
How would you know that it was me driving this car, and how would you know my license was expired? And it just, I just kind of laughed, and I said, okay, well, you can give me a ticket for this, but then I'll fight it because you're targeting. You can write me a ticket, or you can allow me to go get my license renewed right now. I'll go. I have no problem renewing my license, and we can do that. We can either meet in court, or I'll go get my license renewed. And they said, just go get your license renewed, please. Thank you.
This is kind of, the whole issue is kind of giving you a thicker skin, sounds like, so to speak. I mean, you still sound like a loving, passionate mother, but...
Well, I think, having a child that was diagnosed at birth as terminal, you have to have a thick skin. You don't really, well, you can either fall apart. You can do that. I mean, that's always an option. Or
True.
you just put on your big girl panties and you continue to fight, and you have to have a thick skin. And I am choosing to continue this fight. I don't care what they do. I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm doing nothing illegal. And if speeding 7 kilometers over the speed limit is illegal, fine, give me a ticket. But I'm doing nothing wrong. And in fact, my main concern is the people that live under my roof first and foremost. And our quality of life is better, but that's not good enough for me. It is not good enough that my daughter has access to this, and there are countless, thousands of other children that could benefit from this, and they don't have access to it because doctors are kowtowing to the federal and provincial governments, to their college of physicians, and saying, no, we won't prescribe this because it's unethical. But ketamine, by all means, is ethical. It does blow my mind. It really does.
For the audience, a little background information. In the U.S., cannabis is classified as a Schedule I narcotic. And that means that the drug or substance has a high potential for abuse. It is also not currently accepted medical use and treatment in the United States, and there's a lack of accepted safety for use of the drug under medical supervision. That being said, what's your opinion on cannabis being considered on par with heroin?
Well, it's the same thing in Canada. We're a Schedule I true.
Okay, it is. Okay.
Cannabis is considered a Schedule I as well.
Okay.
On par with heroin and cocaine, which is absolutely...
Yeah.
Like, I just... And it's funny because they do use cocaine in medical settings as well, but that's an entirely different debate. I think it's absolutely asinine. I mean, just families torn apart from, legal heroin use, like opiate use, Percocets, Oxys. I have seen complete families just destroyed, lives destroyed, overdoses. City that I grew up with, the economy really took a dive, and of course when that happens, then the potential for alcohol and drug abuse rises, and that's really what's happened in the city that I come from. And I have seen so many people's lives ruined from that. I have never, and of course this is just anecdotal, but I've never seen anybody's life and family torn apart because of pot.
Right.
It's just bizarre to me. So you are a little bit more relaxed, and you're happy, and you might want to have a bag of Doritos. Really? Let's be honest here. It's just absolutely ridiculous. We're not using, sewer water to mix and to try and to shoot up heroin with. It's just, it makes absolutely no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. There is studies out of Harvard or Oxford that are showing, yes, it does absolutely have medicinal value. It does have medicinal use, and our collective governments are plugging their ears and we don't want to hear this.
It is ridiculous.
Our health minister, Rona Ambrose, has absolutely no indirect or direct medical training whatsoever, but she is our health minister, and she's calling the shots.
That sounds about right in the
You've got to be
government.
kidding me.
Yeah, that sounds just about
okay,
right.
that makes sense. You're in an appointed position. She was a women's rights activist, and now she's calling the shots with our health care, which makes absolutely no sense to me. You would assume someone with, at least a background in biology, perhaps a retired doctor,
Something.
Someone of that nature. But no, we're going to have somebody who has a degree in poli-sci and was a women's rights activist. Are you kidding? And she's our health minister. Ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It needs to be moved out of a Schedule I. And that's why we're doing this. That's why her neurologist came to me. I had wanted to go to the media for a long time, but her neurologist came to me. And I didn't want to jeopardize our relationship, and I did want to give it time to make sure that it was working. That this was legit, that, it was really working for her, and I wanted to give it time. She did have her surgeries. So I wanted to wait until after all of that was done to say, okay, you know what? although this is anecdotal, it's very clear that it's working. And he came to me and said, it's time to go to the media. And you could have knocked me over with a feather. And I said, okay, let's go. And he said, I just think she's the best case right now because she's had so much success with it, and you have no problem or issue talking about it with anyone, whether it be face-to-face, whether it be a newscast, whether it be, newspaper, national TV, whatever. I have no issue talking to people about it. I love talking to people about it and making them more aware and perhaps opening their eyes up a little bit to something that they never even gave a second thought to. Everybody thinks, legalization, stoners just want to get stoned legally. Okay, well, and here's the thing. People are going to smoke marijuana whether it's legal or not. So let's just throw that aside. It's not even about that. It's not, this is, my fight is for the medicinal part of it. And once that becomes easier, because it will be, we are right now fundraising for her DNA sequencing test that was presented to me a few years ago, and I said no to it because it's a $10,000 test because she's considered terminal. They won't. Our province won't pay for it. And so I said, no, it's not going to change her. I believe it's a de novo genetic mutation, which just means a fluke that happened in utero. And I said, it's not going to change her. It's not going to change the outcome of anything. I don't want it tested. When he presented it to me, and he, meaning her neurologist, presented it to me and said, well, no, it's not just about Maya. It's about finding out, okay, well, she has, say, a potassium channel mutation. Now we can say there's a correlation. Now, obviously, correlation is not equal causation. We all understand that. But there's a correlation between cannabis use and this, and possibly this genetic mutation. So we know that there are hundreds of kids that have potassium channel mutations and perhaps don't have seizures as frequently or as severe as Maya. But now we can get some clinical trials going, and now we have group studies. Now we have that empirical data. Now we have peer-reviewed studies. Now we have these clinical trials underway, and that's why we're doing this. So, we need that. We need that backing. It's almost like we need to provide them with the proverbial holy grail for them to go, oh, okay, we get it now. Now we believe it works.
I hate to be cynical about this stuff, but I just want to say good luck.
Thank you.
I honestly mean that. Good luck. And I really hope it happens, because it's hard to even put it into words. I'm impressed by how articulate you are about the situation, because it just kind of does not make sense to me once you hear all of this,
There's no other option for me, and I'm quite persistent. I'm very sure in a lot of her medical files there are some pretty not pleasant notes written about me, and I'm very persistent. And so this is not a fight that I'm not going away, and there are a lot of people on board with this, and I have an enormous amount of support. And whether it has to be politically, whether it has to be through our health minister, it's going to get done one way or another. Obviously, legalization would be the easiest. So if Trudeau gets in and says, you know what, yeah, we're going to legalize it. Hey, okay, then perhaps I'll kind of fade into the background, and things will be much easier.
Right, you won't be doing much different if it becomes legal, right?
Right. No, I wouldn't. And, even if it does become easier for pediatric cases to have access and lab-tested cannabis to treat these illnesses, then perhaps if that does become, much easier and more accessible to children, then I'll move on to the legalization movement, because I do believe that it should be legalized. It's just absolutely mind-blowing that it isn't already. When I look at, the different polls, and of course they can be skewed, 10% either way, but the majority of Canadians at least want this legalized. The politicians are listening to their constituents, and so I'm definitely hoping that this next election will change. There are younger people getting involved, educated younger people, and they're voting. And, I'm hoping that will change, our political climate and just people's minds in general. Even my mother, who has never smoked a joint in her life, is completely for legalization.
It's just a matter of time. Once they figure out how to make money off of it, and it's working now in Colorado. They have this huge surplus now of cash that's coming in.
I think everybody's watching Colorado.
Yeah, once they figure out how to properly, get theirs from it, then I believe it's all it's all good moving forward.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just taking forever. Forever. No one understands that more than you, I'm
It definitely
sure.
does seem that way. It definitely does seem that way. But, the thing is, we will see it in our lifetime. And I think within the next 5 years, I think we will see it in North America. Because, if Canada legalizes it federally, it's almost like you guys are not going to have a choice. Because we'll have an influx of Americans coming over just to hang out for the weekend. Our tourist industry will boom, and that would be fantastic, actually. But, and you guys already you just legalized the 21st state for medicinal use.
Mm-hmm.
And, so you guys are moving that way too. We're both moving in the same direction. We just need to quicken up that pace.
Right. It's honestly moving quicker than a lot of political issues that are on the table,
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
it's got that going for it. Well, I appreciate you being on the show. Thank you. That was honestly the best, probably, yeah, I'm just going to say that was the best interview we've had so far. So congratulations.
Awesome.
You can add
Well,
that.
thanks.
You can add that to your list of accolades.
I'm going to put that on my Facebook.
But before you go, you've launched an online fundraiser to pay for, like you said, it's not only about your daughter. You paid for tests, the fundraisers to pay for tests, but also for further research for other families, if you don't mind.
It's actually to get the correlation. Yeah, it's
Okay.
not just
Okay.
really, because it's not going to change her course of treatment.
Right.
She already has cannabis, so it's not going to change
Mhm.
hers. It's just so that, it can potentially help other children, once we find that issue.
How can the audience be guided to help you and help everyone else, help the other families?
Well, if they wanted to donate, it's on GoFundMe.com, and her title for her particular fundraiser is "If One Child Could Help Thousands." So I'm sure if you search that up, it's also on my Facebook, and I can email you the link.
I have it right here. GoFundMe.com/ silly 7Q8SWW. That's the specific link.
Well, there you go. That's it then. And yeah, and even if you can't donate, this is a marathon. This is a sprint. This isn't a race. And so, even just spreading it, spreading awareness, putting it on your Facebook, social networking, that type of thing. I've even got my son's hockey team doing a car wash in a couple of weeks to help fundraise, which I think is fantastic, which is telling me that parents' minds are changing. It's not just, well, you have a sick child and this works for, us, so I'm going to be on board with it. Other people are too that have absolutely no, direct need for this type of medicine, and they're on board with it. So, I definitely think things are changing. So even just spreading awareness and saying, look at what this is doing for this child. This could be doing this for thousands of other children, and why is it not being done?
You are wonderfully articulate in your point making.
Thank you.
It was beautiful. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show. We're going to have to go. We have 2 more interviews, and
Yeah, well, good luck with your other interviews.
you are much more interesting than I thought you'd be. No, I'm just kidding.
You came across really boring in your emails, but no. All right, well, thank you.
Okay, have a wonderful evening.
And good luck for the rest of your day.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll need it.
Right.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, and that was medicinal cannabis advocate Sarah Wilkinson. That was an excellent interview. She was ready to go. We're going to get to the movie here. It's a weird setup here today because we have a record 4 call-in interviews, and none of them are related to me, and I'm not friends with any of them, so that's a record. And there's also a record of preparation time. I've prepped for this fucking thing for about a month now. Damn near.
And I'm your first female.
You are? That is...
Guest.
Yeah, well, I didn't even consider that one because I'm sexist, so... That's not really a record. No, it is the first female guest host. I've had my mom on as an interview guest, but never as a guest host, so... Congratulations. You're breaking all sorts of records here.
I like it.
Also, it's the first time I've ever eaten an edible on the show, so it might get loose. That's Megan over there. She's making the... Do you know the recipe? What's the recipe?
It is 1 ounce vanilla vodka,
Vodka.
1 ounce butterscotch schnapps,
Snaps.
and half an ounce of cinnamon
Schnapps.
with 8 ounces of cream soda.
Jones's cream soda. Then we have some extra creamy whipped cream.
Yep.
I don't know. What's extra creamy? I think I might get them. Maybe we should get the movie started. Why is it it's pink? Oh, is Hot Damn red? Yep. Good old Der Kruppier Hot Damn. 100 proof. Mixologist. You better hurry up and get over here. It's 4:16. You better get that going. We're celebrating the 420 today here on Movie Buzzed. We were going to have chocolate frogs, but that didn't happen. So we had snickerdoodles that were infused with some herbs. I don't know. We got a butterbeer. Butterbeer, I wish it was yellow. That's the only thing. It's like pink. Oh, shit. And the whipped cream. I can do my own whipped cream, ma'am. Thank you. That's the only thing I know how to do. I want that sound. Oh. That would be a good, that's what we need to do for the next one, is we get a new can of whipped cream, and then I inhale the gas and make a funny voice for the show. And get brain damage. That's what happens. This looks delicious, with the whipped cream on top. You might as well just keep those out. She was going to put the bottles back. It's okay. The cream soda's cold, and the booze is only like a fourth of the mix, so whatever. All right, countdown begins. It's 4:17 on 4:20. Here she is. Turn your mic up there.
Here I am.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Can I whip cream me?
Whipped cream it.
Whip cream it.
I'm not going to do... Oh. Nice. See, she gets the jumbo mug, so she has a lot of room for extra whipped cream.
Yeah.
I get the little baby mug because I'm a small
Whipped
child. What? Oh, yeah, just leave it all out, yeah. Warm whipped cream is good for you. It teaches you how to be an adult. You have to help me keep an eye on the clock, because maybe we should start the movie at 4:20, and, oh, that's awesome. That's a great idea.
Perfect timing.
By the way, I'm good at editing on the fly, so that's what we're doing now. We're starting the show at 4:20 on 4:20. All right, 4:18. What are we going to do until... Did you try it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're supposed to cheers, I thought.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
it's okay.
sorry.
Here's the Harry Potter episode,
Oh, yeah.
number one.
Number
It's
one.
going to be a long trip.
Yes, it is. No.
I know, that's why you use a... That's why you only use a little bit of the hot damn. That shit.
Yeah.
It's cinnamony.
It is.
Is there more cream soda in that
Yeah.
game? Oh,
Yours
that's funny.
didn't fit in.
We use the same ratio, except that you had a giant mug, so you got more cream soda than me. So mine
Yeah, I did get a little more cream soda.
mine tastes completely different, probably. I'll just pour a little on top.
They're okay.
4:19. This is exciting. Okay, everybody. Welcome to Movie Buzzed. Again, 4:20. Harry Pothead and the Sorcerer's Stoned, right?
Yes.
That's the theme, I guess.
Yes.
Get your movies ready. Title sequence. Hit play now. Like we're doing here on the show. Hitting play now. And apparently I'm hitting the microphone cable, so... Here we go. Okay. I never is that just like the back lot of a...
Warner
like
Brothers
Yeah,
Studio.
Warner Brothers, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, Warner Brothers.
See, you learn a lot of trivia on the show. I go through a lot to teach people stuff. I don't know what happens. So Privet Drive, is that anything special? Because I know Diagon Alley, where they get their stuff, it's diagonally.
Well, Privet Drive is just the street that Harry lives on.
Yeah, well,
His,
the Dursleys.
The Dursleys, yes.
I like to emphasize the Dur. Because they're oh, okay. Happy 420, Megan. We can cheers again. We were like reaching for something like, I want to celebrate somehow. There you go. We can cheers and then light this beezer up. Okay, well, I like this. You go ahead and fill the audience, and I'm going to turn on the subtitles too, so we can be a little clearer where we are also.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, no problem. That thing comes to play. What's that called?
Oh, man.
The light catcher?
It's...
And giver?
It's called the, God, is it the Deluminator? Or...
Yeah, something like that.
I think
Deluminator. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's right.
It comes into play later on. We didn't really go over anything before the show, but I kind of like to keep it where if anyone hasn't seen it, even though it's been out for a while, spoiler alerts apparently is some stupid thing that people ran about online, and they complain, that, oh, you don't like spoilers, too bad the show's been off for 5 years. Like, I'm just finishing Lost, and I've gone way out of my way to, like, not get it spoiled.
Oh,
so
it's hard.
I know. But I don't think people should complain about people that don't like spoilers. So, here on the show, we're going to try as hard as we can not to spoil the 7 other movies.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No, I have no problem with that.
But, I mean, you can give us more information and stuff, but I'd like to keep the plot kind of,
Yeah,
up in the air sort of
Got it.
thing about he who we shall not speak of.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Excellent.
right now, what
Okay.
they're doing
This is a very important thing. So yeah, go ahead. I'll light this for 420.
Right now, what they're doing is they're talking about Harry and how he's staying with the Dursleys, and McGonagall doesn't think they're like, you know, very good people because they're not.
Well, who are these characters that
They're
you speak
his
of?
aunt
These
and uncle.
McGonagalls.
It's his
No,
his...
these people on the screen.
McGonagall. That's
Hagrid.
Professor McGonagall. As the
Mhm.
woman, she just turned into
Maggie
from the
Smith?
cat.
Stone.
Sorcerer's
Yep.
Stone.
Hagrid flew in on the motorcycle. It's a classic move.
Mhm.
But yeah, Dumbledore, right?
Yeah, Dumbledore. He's the headmaster of
Okay.
Hogwarts.
McGonagall's his little sidekick there.
Yeah, she's a teacher.
She seems like she's like second in command, Kinda seems like.
when Dumbledore, or yes, she is.
basically.
Of
Or
the
is
school.
is that how it is?
Yes, in the school it is.
So my guess was correct.
Yes, it
Okay.
was.
Well, good. Okay.
And then, yeah, that's baby Harry.
BH, they call him.
Yeah.
But so they're taking him to his relative's house.
To the Dursleys.
Right. We don't know why yet, right?
No, you know, I think we know why.
See, the thing is, in the book, right, it happens before everything
Yeah.
starts. Like it starts with them being attacked, right, or something like that.
The books start with him like later.
Oh, okay. Well,
Like-
this is good knowledge. Drop some knowledge on me.
Yeah, well, I think. Well, no, maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong. This is how the book starts. I'm sorry.
It's
You
okay.
know.
No, I know. Trust me, I do know.
Okay.
We
well,
had a 420 celebration. These butter beers are kind of potent too.
Yeah, they are.
They're fizzy. I like them though. They're good.
They're pretty good.
You get used to them after a minute.
Yeah.
The first drink's like full of hot damn, I think, usually.
Yeah.
But then you get some more
Cream.
cream soda. Yeah. You get some more cream, whipped cream, cream soda, all that shit. It's really
Yeah.
good. Harry Potter, he has a scar on his head.
Yeah, he
It's in the
does.
shape of the first letter of my first name.
Yeah, or a lightning bolt.
Or a lightning bolt, whatever, what have you. I'm going to turn your microphone down, and
Yeah.
I'm going to request that you go over there and you get that Harry Potter gear so we can bust it out, because we haven't been wearing it the whole time. So it happens, the whole time. Jeez, it hasn't been a whole time. But anyway, you get that, and we'll go into Harry. His aunt, that's his Aunt Dursley. She's knocking on the door. He lives in a fucking, cupboard, is that what they call it? A
Stairs.
supply closet. Oh, we got some Harry Potter glasses. Are these? Oh, watch the microphone there,
Oh,
miss.
sorry.
You're okay. They're prescription frames.
No.
No, good. Because I would fuck with. Okay, sweet. I feel good now. I got a haircut for the episode, not necessarily particularly for the episode. I just gave myself one, but whatever. And today is Harry Potter's cousin's birthday. Dudley Dursley.
Dudley
Dudley
Dursley.
Dursley. It's his birthday. What is that satchel you have there?
This is my sorting hat.
Oh, you got the sorting hat.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Nice.
Like it's not
It's
as
floppy.
It's pretty floppy, and
Where's the face?
it looks
is there a
there's
face
no
on it?
face, and that's the other thing.
Oh,
About
that's
it. It sucks.
dumb.
I know.
Well,
It's stupid.
it's okay. We online sort ourselves. This is a short tie, by the way. This is like a young. Well, this is like Harry Potter's tie.
Yeah,
Thank you. Do I look like Harry Potter now?
you totally do.
We're probably gonna send out some photos. We should. I got a tie. Got the glasses. I don't have a scar. I do have a broom in the kitchen. I feel like I'm wearing a hat, but it's these headphones. Fucking stupid. Okay, so they're going to the zoo for Dudley's birthday. Didn't he just whine because he didn't get enough presents?
Yes.
That's like 20. Last year I had 27, and now I had 28.
Yes.
And this year I had 27.
Last year I had 27.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, banging the mic again.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. No, I have to make that. I can't edit this stuff out because we're watching the movie and we're trying to keep it with people,
Right.
So I have to just say, oh, Megan's bumping the microphone in case people are like, what the fuck is that noise?
Right.
Because I really can't edit it out. I try, but usually it takes up too much space. And I'll have to insert silences. It just doesn't work. It's a hard edit. I'm trying to do this thing like edit on the fly. Oh my
Okay.
god, that's awesome. When we take the pictures for the episode, that's going to be a
Oh,
cover
gosh.
photo of you
Is it?
in the sorting hat and scarf. It's wonderful. And pink.
Oh, gosh.
What is that? Modest Mouse.
Oh, yeah, it's my mom's mouse shirt.
It is. So this is where we first find out that Harry is a
Parcel tongue?
parcel tongue. Because
Yeah, well, you don't really find out. Well, yeah, you know that he talks to snakes.
yeah,
but
it's
he
a
doesn't
reference to
know
that. You don't
why.
know the definition or why or anything, but
Right.
what it's called is being a parcel tongue. We're not going to tell you
Yes.
why, because we're trying not to spoil it, but,
Right.
you know, this is the first occasion where he finds out
That
They-
he can talk to
snakes,
reptiles.
even if they're
I don't
bred
know
in
if it's
captivity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with snakes right now,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Because that's where we're
And
at.
there's a little brat. Oh,
Dudley.
God. Little
Fucking
brat.
asshole. Sounds like an asshole.
He is.
Don't blame Dudley. He can't help it.
And this isn't the first time that Harry has done this. This is the first time in the movie, but he does things like this.
It was just the way he was raised.
Well, I mean, well, no, I mean,
No,
Harry.
I'm saying, yeah, I'm saying Dudley, though. That's just
Oh.
the way he was raised to be a spoiled little
Yeah.
brat.
Yes, he was.
But anyway, in the book, he's doing other stuff.
Well, in the
Before
book, Harry
this?
Potter has done things like this before. Like
Just talk to garden
he got
snakes or
a bad
something?
haircut once,
Mm-hmm.
and his hair grew back overnight, like stuff like that.
Oh, so he's willed things to happen. Like
Yeah,
the glass
not like-
disappearing.
Yeah, like he doesn't know how he does it or anything. He just knows it happens.
Oh, that would be a great thing. If you were a kid and that was happening, that'd
Yeah.
be pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it would be.
You're just like, oh, I fucking hate my dad, and he's dead.
Oh,
Yeah, we're going there, Megan. We're going there. That's where we pretty much no holds barred sort of thing.
okay.
The thing I like about the scene too is like once he gets caught in the snake pit, the glass goes back up, so he
Yeah.
can't really get out. It's awesome. He deserves it completely.
He does.
His dad, or I always want to call it his dad or his mom, but it's his uncle. He's kind of an asshole.
He is.
Mm-hmm. And then he just explains it like it's like magic, just like any kid. Just like that's why it took me a minute to push through this, because it's like a kid's movie, sort of.
Yeah.
When he talks to snakes, that's kind of cool, but then all of a sudden, you know, it's like, you darn kids making up stories like magic. I mean, that's how you would respond as an adult to a child, right?
Yeah.
Talking about magic and shit.
Yeah.
You throw them in the cupboard.
Well, no. Probably. Maybe.
I need to get tape on my glasses. He has broken glasses right now, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, he gets them fixed eventually.
Yeah. Well, until then, I need to... Oh, we should live tweet this or something.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
I don't know. You have to drive somewhere at some point, right? So you can't get too tipsy.
Well, I'm probably good. It's taking me a while to drink this, so I'll be good, I think, with this. And-
Every time... Oh, God, that is strong. Every time I pull it back, I get whipped cream mustache.
I've noticed.
That's pretty awful. Is there anything private that you'd like to admit here? Just gonna let it all out real fast before we get like real deep into it. Last episode, we don't do it by weeks now. Last episode, I talked to my cousin about us comparing penis lengths
Oh,
as children, and he thinks he probably blocked it out or it didn't happen. He seemed so convinced that it didn't happen. I don't know. I think my dad said something about it once, and I don't know. I don't want that to be a running theme. I just want to kind of, you know, just talk it all out and get it all done.
okay, well, that's interesting.
So I don't have to talk about that anymore. So
Okay.
I feel good about that. Yeah. The interview guests are going to listen back to this episode and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I interviewed on this guy's show. But the one, we did an interview with the lady from Tumbleweed Farms, the fifth commercially growing farm in Washington. She had a problem. She had a problem with me, apparently. No, I'm just kidding. No, they were celebrating 420, which is nice. You know?
Yes.
It's good times. I don't know where I was going with that. I trailed off there. I lost it. Oh, no, I'm saying, like, yeah, they're going to listen to the show and be like, oh, man.
Yeah.
But
Right.
no, that's where I was going. The lady from the pot farm, or I guess you have to call it a marijuana farm, a cannabis farm, something. There's terminology, just like anything, that you have to be politically correct with. But she said that the Facebook picture was hilarious, and it's basically me naked with a tape covering my penis. So,
It is funny.
you know, she's definitely in on the... I mean, she knows it's jokey, but it's also cool that all this stuff is happening, you know?
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's also fun to be a little bit serious, so... Didn't know if you had anything you just wanted to air out to the public, to the 80 to 150 people that are going to
Wow,
listen.
That's a lot of people.
I know. It's a decent amount.
Yeah. Wow.
No,
No, not that. No, I don't think so.
that's the best part. I try to talk to people about the show, and they're like, you can tell that most of the people that I consider my friends don't listen to the show, probably.
I've meant to.
Okay.
I
see, there it
haven't.
is.
I know it's awful.
No, they listen to part of it. Chris Brake
I've
definitely
listened
listens.
to some of it.
Chris Brake listens to quite a few, but yes, I've asked some people to do some things for the show, and they're like, oh, so what's the show about? And stuff. So, but regardless of that, I've had all these other views, which is kind of encouraging. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool.
Cool.
Because, like, you know, your friends say they're in a band or something. You're like, oh, yeah. And you go check them out and stuff. But, like, the people that are the actual fans, it's pretty cool. So, you know, it's always nice to tell your relatives you got something going on or whatever. And that's fun and stuff. But the people that, like, listen in South Korea, they go out of their way to listen to the show. That's kind of crazy. So, you know.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's about everybody here. I'm just totally belittling my friends there. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding around.
Okay.
Like I said, you know, if I was like, I'm in a band, I wouldn't expect my friends to be like, oh, fucking, I downloaded everything you got. I
Right.
got every album. I'm your biggest fan.
Right.
Like, nope, that's okay. Because I'm sure it gets pretty annoying.
Well,
Get,
I
like,
want to.
Yeah, but like getting it,
listen
hey,
to them,
Zach
just have it.
Cox is inviting you to something, and you open it up, and it's this fucking podcast that's like 2.5 hours long, where he's watching the Oscars and pissing in 2-liter jugs, you know, so I understand that completely. It's okay. There's nothing that gets by me here. Megan?
Yeah.
What has been going on the fucking movie?
Well, it's Harry Potter's birthday.
It is.
They've been running away from the letters.
They've been getting all these letters from these owls that are
Mhm.
informing. Well, it doesn't say what they are because they don't read
Well,
it, right?
he finally.
Did he get one? He snuck one?
No, I don't think he's read it yet. No, he has not.
But
read
they
it yet.
know it's from Hogwarts.
They know what it is.
Because who? It was his dad?
His mother.
His mother was a witch?
Yes, and well, they both were, but she was a witch, and that's her sister. Yeah, Petunia is his mother's
And she's a-
sister. His
It's
aunt.
not a muggle, though. Because she had,
is a
like...
muggle.
No, but it didn't... Oh, their parents weren't... It skipped a generation,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
See? Look at the research I did. Isn't
Yeah.
that insane? Most people wouldn't even
That's
know that.
pretty good.
But yeah, because isn't there a name for the kids of witches that don't have the powers?
Yes, there is a name for
And that's what she is. Aunt Petunia is one of those people.
I don't think so because I don't think their parents weren't.
Okay, well, regardless, yeah, it skipped a
Um,
generation.
But
Okay,
but
gotcha.
yeah, but yeah. And,
Seriously,
yeah,
this shit is in depth. Trust me.
Yeah, it is.
Just hang on for the ride, folks.
Yeah.
It's okay. But she doesn't have any. They don't have magic powers, but they're aware of Hogwarts and the wizarding world.
Yeah, because of her sister.
Because
But
of her
just
sister.
her sister, I think. Like Hermione is the only person in her family
Right.
that became a witch. It's the same thing.
Hmm. Her parents are like an accountant or something like that.
They're
right?
dentists.
Oh, dentist. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Something equally as boring as accountant.
Yeah.
Hopefully, no accountants are listening. This tie is itchy. Is that part of the whole Harry Potter mystery? His tie is always itchy for some
Yeah, I
reason.
think it
Is
might
that like
be.
something I haven't read about?
I think
It's
yeah,
part of the whole canon of Harry Potter.
it is.
I'm gonna borrow your lighter here. Continue our 420 celebration hours later.
Oh man.
I know you're gonna have to leave and then come back at some point and finish the episode.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a 2-parter. It's okay. It's you know, you have an hour to hang out. I think
Yeah.
something like that. We'll
Mhm.
figure it out.
Mhm.
You have to go support your man in the
Yes.
band.
Uh-huh.
Name
It is.
it is him.
Yeah.
I'll beep his name out.
Okay.
I know he might not want it in here, so I'll beep his name out because it's a very unique first name,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Is that short for something like guard?
It's part of his last name,
Oh, okay, okay,
which I won't say
that's fine.
just because.
I'll beep
yeah.
all that out. Trust me. I beeped out Brian's name. I'll have to beep that out. His last name. But yeah, I've gotten pretty good at that. I have to beep out my cousin's racist comment and then my racist response to his racist comment,
Right.
sort of thing. But it's in the grand scheme of things.
Sure.
You know, we're pointing stuff out. It's absurd to be racist, sort of thing. You know, some people might not get that, so I'm just going to beep it out.
Okay.
You know, so I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about
I
that.
get it.
So we have a big old motorcycle riding Hagrid, who is a half giant. Is that what?
Yeah.
Half giant.
His mother was a giant.
And he's come to be, he's like the messenger for Hogwarts to Harry Potter, basically.
He is the groundskeeper, but he is one of Dumbledore's most trusted, like, friends.
Yeah, he like watches after him, kind of too. He
Yeah.
seems like he's like Harry's keeper.
I mean,
That's
he
the-
keeps an eye on him.
That's the feeling I gather, you know. And he's not good at keeping a secret, so if you ever have to
Yeah.
do that, don't trust that guy with secrets.
That's true.
He is awful at that.
Yeah, for
Oh.
sure.
Didn't know him do that. I like how later on you'll hear this interview we did, and it's a little skit. We get to bust out our acting
Oh,
chops,
gosh.
and my British accent starts off as Australian, and then I don't know, and then like there's a variety of English accents,
Yeah.
and so like I went from like Cockney to like I don't know the other accents, but I went from like real slangy type sounding to real proper British. It was kind of weird.
It was kind
I know. It was fun though. That's
Yeah,
why I wanted to do it.
was fun.
And I hadn't like I'd practiced it kind of like mumbling to myself and in my head, but I hadn't done it out loud yet. So it sounded better out loud.
Well, we did it in the bar that one time.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was silly, but
It was silly.
I don't think we read the whole thing though. I don't know. You just decided like a couple of days ago you wanted to be Draco.
Yeah,
I'm
glad.
I did leave that up to you. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Well, it was just highlighted because I had to be the narrator
Right,
and
and
Harry
Dobby.
and Dobby. I definitely wanted. That's the whole thing. I wanted Dobby in there. He'll be in the next movie.
You only wanted him in there because you were good at his voice.
Well, not only that, but like I'm glad that I like that aspect of him being like a voyeur. You know, because he's like invisible. He can be invisible, right? He can not be seen or something. I don't know.
He can just pop up.
He can
out of
definitely
nowhere.
pop in and out of existence.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of him like just popping up in a closet and being like, you know, he's just a creep show. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Did Hagrid use magic, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't think it goes into it in the movie. It does in the book, though. Why isn't he allowed to use magic? I forget.
Well, you find out later in the series.
Is it in the movie too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you don't find out. Well, yeah.
Whatever.
You find out,
We
yes.
might ruin something, but Hagrid can't use magic.
Yeah, he got in trouble in school or something.
Wasn't it a while
basically.
ago? It was like a long time
Yeah, it
before
was a
this,
long
right?
time ago. It was
And?
a long time ago. And they took away his wand.
You don't remember
They
the
broke
specifics?
his wand or whatever they do. Well, I remember the specifics.
Did he? He was practicing magic.
No, it was he has
Nothing.
a
Oh,
he has
okay.
a spider, a pet spider.
Oh, can't remember. The Arachnula or something like
Yeah,
that?
Aragog.
Aragog, okay. He's a big spider.
He's a huge spider, and there was a lot
Like
of
not-
stuff going on around Hogwarts, and they blamed it on him. And
It was his pet?
It was his pet.
Yeah. Damned if you do. That doesn't apply here. Really, no. But yeah, it wasn't his fault. But
Yeah.
he went to the forest of solitude, was it?
The enchanted forest.
Ah, enchanted forest. It's much easier. And created like a whole spider colony. Right? I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
He's got a bunch of babies.
a bunch
and
of
stuff.
baby boys. Even though the baby spiders are bigger than like humans.
Yeah,
Insane.
yeah.
Oh, what is this place?
They're
Tavern?
in
Cheers.
they're in
Yeah. Oh man, I thought that's why I
they're
had
in
you
the
on here.
bar.
You're
No,
Harry Potter
they're- I
knowledge.
don't know. I normally would know this.
It's called like a Drinkle Puffs or something.
Treacle puffs.
Alcoholic. Alcoholicus.
It's the
I forgot about that. That's gonna be a thing too. Making jokes about the spells.
Yeah.
Remembericus, the Namicus, the Happy Jackal.
no. There's a lot of
Leaky
different
Cauldron.
The leaky cauldron.
Oh, I'm
no.
not.
Is it?
I just got. Oh
I
no.
think it is. There's a few different ones though, so that's why I'm confused. There's
Yeah.
the Hogshead.
Oh,
I
see,
think,
there it is.
And then, I don't think that's what it is. 'Cause I think those are in the other town. I don't
yes.
know. That's terrible.
There's got to be other Harry Potter.
I know
I'm
it.
gonna get some more
but
specialists on. I'm gonna have a whole panel of people so we can have like a common agreeal on what it is. Agreeal. That's
Okay.
not even a word.
I
I just
can-
made up a word.
It's
Agreeal, right? That's not a word. We can have a common agreeal on what's happening.
Agreeal. That is a real word.
It'd be agreement, I think.
Right. I think you're right.
Yep, I'm an idiot. I like this brick wall. How do they access it? Does he have to...
He was doing little taps on the bricks
Little
and
tippy taps.
on certain bricks.
Here it is, Diagon Alley. A play on words for diagonally. Right? Ha 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 ha. Because the alleys are diagonal. It's like,
Oh.
I don't know. They all go to a central point, probably. It looks crazy. This place looks nuts. Does the book go about more in depth about the stores or anything? Do you know?
Yeah,
Or-
for sure.
Nice.
And there's a website called Pottermore, and it goes through a lot of the other stuff that the books and the movies don't do.
Ah,
It's pretty cool.
I gotcha.
It goes chapter by chapter.
I like his outfit. He's got his belt buckle up to his belly button,
Yeah.
way above it,
Oh yeah.
to his nips.
Oh yeah. Those are Dudley's old clothes.
Head wig. Ooh, he gets an owl eventually, right? It's
Mhm.
coming up here. He gets a
Mhm.
little owl. Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Racecast boom, the Nimbus 2000. That's a cool shop. I want a broom shop. All I have is a little plastic blue broom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any kind of magic nimbus that
Yeah.
can make me fly.
Me
It
either.
happens. Oh, and now we're gonna find out how Harry's gonna get his money.
Yep.
It goes in a little more in depth, right?
That would
In the
freak
book,
me
I'm
out.
sure.
This is like the first of the weird looking people he's seen.
Yeah,
here.
Hagrid's pretty big, but
Yeah, but these are goblins. Or
yeah, these little
whatever.
weird motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And of course, oh god. Yep, they're kind of crazy looking.
Yeah.
And of course, they're like, who do we got? Vern Troyer? Like, no, yeah. And at one point, he plays a character, but he doesn't even use his own voice. It's Warwick Davis, the one that played, was in Leprechaun. If you ever
Really?
saw that, yeah.
Vern Troyer?
No. Vern
Oh.
Troyer plays, like, in this first one, he plays the, the choir director.
Oh.
But when they do his voice, it's not him.
Yeah.
It's the other guy that
That's
takes
weird.
over for him. His name's Warwick Davis. He was on
Okay.
Leprechaun.
Yeah, he was on
He's a Flintwick. Flintwick is his name. His character's name.
Yeah.
In the. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Weird goblins. I don't know. There's not I don't know if they got all little people for this, or if they
Yeah.
did like The Hobbit, where they dress people up.
Well, they're
and,
pretty little.
did some camera effects. But I know that at least Vern Troyer and Warwick Davis are two little people in this movie. So there you have it.
I was not aware of
There's not a lot of,
Vern Troyer.
in the book. Are there a lot of people of color?
There are.
Doesn't-
Yes,
it
more
doesn't-
than it seems like
Yeah, it
there are
doesn't
in
seem
the
like there are
movies.
any in this one.
They actually changed one of the characters later from a black girl to a white girl, but she plays a bigger part in the movie.
Who, Luna?
No, Lavender Brown.
Oh, okay. That sounds...
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to cut that part out. It's horrible. No, I'm just kidding. You can't judge people by their names. You can't tell an ethnic person by their name. You can't tell if they're not,
No.
You can't tell a person's ethnicity by their name.
Right.
Stupid comment.
Okay.
But yeah, in this movie, there's a lot of majority people, not a lot of minorities. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a little darker gentleman in this later. I don't know who that is. I don't know. Robert Pattinson's in it. He's like white, the driven
He
snow, and
is.
Luna Lovegood. They're
They're
like
pretty
Aryans
white.
in this movie. Malfoy's got like blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's like white skin. It looks like the
Aryan.
Malfoys look like I'm an idiot. Is that what you said?
No, I said Aryans.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
but they're
yeah.
just like blonde hair, blue eyed,
Sure.
mean people.
Yeah.
They're just mean. That's why they're Aryan.
Well, Luna Lovegood's not mean,
No, she's very nice.
but she's okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
You got me. But the Malfoys look like they like bleach their skin or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's they bleach their hair for sure, so I think that's what it is. Yeah. Ooh, Hagrid just grabbed something out of a vault. You're not allowed to mention what it is to anyone, but we know what it is.
Yep.
Title of the movie, folks. Title of the movie. That's why you should read the books before you watch the movies, apparently. What would you suggest? You watched the movies. Or you read the books before you watched the movies,
Yeah.
right?
Well, besides this one, because I think this one came out and then I started
And then you're like,
reading the
"Yeah."
books.
Okay, so
But-
so you've done it both ways. So how was your experience?
I would suggest to read the books.
So your process was that basically you started watching the first movie when the books came out, right? Or
Yes.
like how's it go? The books had already been out. What one or two of them had already been out and you started watching the movies, or
I think the first three had been out when I started watching the movies.
Oh, okay. So you kind of fall in between where you've read the books, you kind of like caught up to where the movies were once they started, right?
Yes.
So by the time the Deathly Hallows came out, you'd already finished the books,
Yes.
like the series.
I
Okay.
mean, but by the time the Chamber of Secrets had came out, I'd finished that book. Like,
Chamber of Meat Curtains, maybe.
Right, the
Meat
Chamber
Curtains.
of Meat Curtains. Yes.
So, okay, so you've kind of fallen on both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
You read the books before you'd seen the movies, but you saw the movie. I don't know how to explain it, but which would you say would probably be the best way to go about it?
I definitely think you should start reading the books before you watch the movies. The movies themselves don't really make much sense without that extra knowledge.
Yeah, I would say they make sense, but it doesn't seem like they're as interesting.
They're not. They leave out a lot of stuff. A lot of holes are there. And
You can go ahead and hit this if you'd like,
I
the
would love
continuation of
that.
the 420 bowl. But I was kind of thinking along those lines of, like I've read, I wouldn't say plenty, but I've read a decent amount of books that have been on film, and I've seen movies before the books, back and forth, etc. So, I would say that it would be good to read the books. Like, the way I would go about it if I had to do it all over again is I would probably read each book before I saw each movie. And that would fill in the gaps of the movies.
Yeah, but when you're reading the books, you don't really want to stop.
Right, okay.
You just continue reading.
Well, I'm talking about sequestering myself in like a bunker of a Harry Potter like fallout shelter.
That sounds awesome.
Just reading a book and then watching it. I thought you were gonna say awful, but
no,
yeah.
awesome.
Does it?
Yes.
Yeah,
it
I
sounds
forgot.
wonderful.
You're a pretty big fan there.
I
but
am.
so what's going on here? They're at this wand shop.
They're at Ollivander's, and he's picking out his first wand. Well, the wand is choosing him.
There you go. Yeah, the wand is picking Harry. So
Yeah.
there's different like makeups of wands, right? They have different like secret ingredients.
They have different cores, and they're made out of different
There we go.
woods. And
I don't know the terminology. Yeah, I'm glad that you know the terminology because I'm just like different secret ingredients. Like, yeah, their cores are different.
They're just like tail feathers or hairs or whatever.
Shake your tail feather. Like what, phoenix feather or something. Unicorn. There's like unicorn mane hair or something weird.
Yeah,
I
lots
assume
of
it comes
stuff.
from the mane. They just say unicorn hair, but
I'd assume the mane as well.
yeah, unicorn pubis. That's where they get it from.
Ew.
See, and this is see, I'm kind of curious. Is this like one of the first times they? Okay, let me get my thoughts straight. They haven't said anything about huge we shall not speak of, or we don't say his name or whatever, have they really?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
Hagrid has. Kind of.
So it's all kind of leading to this sort of thing, like this big reveal
Yeah.
sort of thing, but
Because Harry knows nothing and everyone else knows everything.
Yeah. He's like the superstar around here, and he's like, why
Yeah.
do all these people know me? Sorry, that Z's messing me up. It makes me feel good. I feel connected to Mr. Potter. Is that Hedwig?
Hedwig, yes.
That's before he's Harry's officially, or is
Well,
he already?
he is now. Hagrid just bought him for him.
So is that where they get the owls? They have to go purchase them, or they don't?
Yeah, they buy them.
They don't choose them.
It's probably possible you can just. I don't know. I don't know if the owls are magical or.
The wizarding world is.
There's a lot of stuff behind
It's
it.
in depth.
Yeah.
I need some wizard rock. Have you ever listened to wizard rock?
I have.
Some rock with a
Some-
W.
Yeah.
Is it interesting?
It is. If you've read the books, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, because they make jokes about like plot and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like just nerdy rock. Yeah,
No.
like what would you expect? I'm sorry. If you're going to go see a wizard rock band, they're probably going to talk about the plot because there's
Yeah.
not much else that goes into it.
Right.
I would
or they're like
assume.
made up stories or relationships and stuff. They'll do love songs about like
Nice.
Ginny and Harry.
Have
or,
you ever
whatever.
seen a rock band?
I have not. They have like
Harry and the Potters?
Yeah, Harry and the Potters is one. There's a lot of them.
It used to be like a huge thing, but
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's kind of died down, obviously, because of that's weird. His mom looks like Ginny.
She does.
She kind of looks like Ginny Weasley.
She does.
When I was looking up the cast list and stuff on this movie, the last like quarter of the cast list are all Weasleys. There was like 8 people credited as a Weasley.
There are a lot of Weasleys.
You watch out for that goddamn microphone. I'm
It didn't
tired.
make any sound.
Yes,
did
it did.
Oh,
Barely.
okay.
Yeah, it's
My bad. Okay.
it's exponentially louder in my ear because I'm sitting right next to you. So
Okay.
it's not even that loud. I bet I probably talked over it, and I lulled people to sleep with my soothing voice. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that's another thing I need to control while we're talking about the podcast itself is when I edit, I can hear like breaths, like, and blah, blah, blah. I think I need to watch that. There's probably some way to take care of it.
I think there is.
Just look off to the side. But then it
doesn't
sounds
help
like
that
I'm
we're,
constantly
smoking
throwing
the
my
whole
voice
time
like that.
and drinking makes you breathe harder.
That's the problem too, is not only does it make you breathe harder, but it makes you forget about the things that you're like, I'm going to work real hard on trying not to do this today.
Yeah.
And then you
I've
do it.
noticed.
Is this part of the 9 3/4 station? Is that just the
The
inside?
9 3/4 station. This is King's Crossing or King's Cross or one of the two. But
Yeah.
it's not really, but it is.
Right, it's supposed to be. Like
Yeah,
they did the
supposed to
interior shots at one place and the exterior somewhere else
Yeah.
because they liked the way it looked.
Yeah.
Something
he's-
along those lines. But there is only one train station in the is this the train station?
I think yes, in the
Okay, it
Wizarding
is.
World,
There it
yes.
is. Okay.
This is it.
This is the place.
Yes.
There's other ways to get there, but we learn those later on. What is that? Where they do the thing? Like transport, transfusion,
transfusion. No,
transmodulation.
They.
I sound really intelligent when
There
I'm
are a
making
lot
up
of
words.
different things. You could use port keys, I'm sure.
Okay, that's one of them. Yeah, but I'm talking about.
God,
You know what I'm talking
I know
about.
What you're talking
Where
about.
they're- Where Dumbledore just like touches him and he's like,
Yeah,
we're off.
They're-
Whatever. It
they're
happens
made-
later.
They're made up words.
There's
It's hard to remember them
Right.
all.
There's various ways to travel in the wizarding world of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's basically what it boils down to. You know all you need to know now.
Yeah.
That's all it goes down. That's funny. Think you're being funny? Platform 9 3.5 3/4. No, there was a 9 3/4, motherfucker.
You said 9 3/4 a lot
I
before
said
today.
Yeah, 3/4. I understand.
It's just funny. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Well, because it's British, right? They don't say fourths.
I don't know if they do or not.
I think that's what it is because it's British.
This
Shit,
is the first time that Harry's ever met his to-be wife. How sweet.
Oh, just ruined the whole
Oh,
thing,
God.
you know? Yeah.
No, everybody knows that.
No,
Even-
everybody knows that
Okay, I'm
Harry
sorry,
and
you're
Mrs.
right.
Mrs. Weasley get together in the end and run away. It's pretty good. Anyway, moving on. There's the twins. It's so crazy. I was looking at. I think I might probably preface this before, but like that they kept the same cast throughout all these movies, and they age
Uh-huh.
quite a bit. Almost 10 years, probably something like
I
that.
think they did them pretty much back to back, but it's.
Yeah, there was a
I
lot
think
of,
they're like 12 in these, or.
and they end up
13.
being like in their early 20s, late teens. So
Yeah.
it goes a while, but it's crazy that they stuck with everybody. I mean, there's only one person that didn't get to finish, and that's because he fucking died. So
Well, and
yeah.
what's her name?
Oh, Hooch. She's not in this, by the
What's
way.
her name? God, no, what's her name? I don't know. Yeah, there's a little black girl who's in the movies.
Oh, you told me about this girl. Isn't it Lavender Brown or something?
Lavender Brown.
Jeez. Yeah, that's funny because I was like, that sounds like a black, and then I stopped. It is terrible. And then we came to the conclusion you can't judge a person by their name, so you can't tell who they are.
That's true.
But Lavender Brown does sound like a name from like a blaxploitation film, like Foxy Jackson or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So it happens. But so what about her? She's not in.
Oh, she's in the first couple, I think. They just kind of show
Shut
her.
her. Oh,
But in a later movie, she's in a relationship with Ron Weasley,
Ron Weasley.
and she's a white girl with blonde hair.
Oh yeah, she's the one that's like obsessed with him or
Yeah.
whatever, right? When he
Uh-huh.
gets cursed or something like that.
Yeah.
It's cute. I like
I
it.
guess.
They're,
Kind of crazy.
they're on the train for the first time too?
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna bust out the chocolate frogs, which we were supposed to have, but something happened.
Yes.
It's okay. Do you have like molds or something?
I have chocolate frog molds.
Did you
pretty
buy them
cool.
off some Harry Potter website or something?
I bought them on Amazon.
Or did they specifically say like Harry Potter chocolate frog
No.
ones, or it just said chocolate
just-
frog mold?
Yeah,
Okay,
they're just chocolate frog
just some
molds,
generic
yeah.
thing.
But they look just like them.
I mean, they could make a fuck ton of. I mean, they already did off all the merchandising, but shit, something like that, I bet they can make a fortune on that.
I mean, they sell chocolate frogs.
Yeah, but I'm sure that I don't know. I would be surprised if they didn't have some kind of mold that was like Harry Potter chocolate frog mold or something, you know?
Yeah, the one I bought was like 50 cents, so that one would
That's
be
what I was
like
about to say. You could
$50.
charge like $2 more per mold just because it's that.
Yeah.
Bert's. Oh, here's the nasty. We talked about this before, but the jelly beans. We
I
didn't
like
talk
'em.
about it on the show, I don't believe, but the jelly beans, liver and tripe, spinach, and you said they made those. There was a booger one.
Well, they don't have all the flavors that
Yeah.
they talk about, but
They
yeah.
still have some pretty awful things. They had like grass.
I think the grass is pretty good.
Wasn't vomit one of them or
Vomit
something?
is one of them. And
Is
of
it
course,
good?
Well, it doesn't taste like vomit. It's still sugar.
Well, that's false advertising.
but it might. I don't know. I don't specifically remember what the vomit jelly bean tasted like.
This would be awesome. Sorry, just the small things. It would
Yeah.
be awesome for a little frog of chocolate to jump out the window, and then every time you eat chocolate, you freak out because you think you're like killing some kind of.
I would. That
Living
would freak
being.
me out.
So with those cards too, because you know how they say, okay, so they have these. It's like it's basically like those the baseball cards that used to come in like chewing gum packets or whatever. You know, like they have collectible cards of these like famous wizards or
Yeah.
well-known wizards, and their pictures like pop up. I don't know, it's weird. Like they tell you that on your computer, if you have a camera on there, you know, like you need to cover it with a piece of tape or something because people can access your,
Yeah.
if they hack into it.
Freaks me out.
Yeah, that would freak me out because, I mean, hell, these wizards can fucking make food and things pop into existence and, like, freeze people and curse them and shit. So,
Yep.
I'm just saying, you got to watch out for these wizarding crazies.
Yeah, it's a lot of crazy things.
And there's the sexy
Really?
Emma Watson.
She's like 11 years old.
That's why it's funny. That's why we're laughing. Because I don't really feel that way about her.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't know if I even feel about her now that way. She's kind of, I don't know. She's a small girl.
She is a very small girl.
Like she's really tiny. And that's kind of some people's things.
Your ex-girlfriend was really tiny.
But I wouldn't say she was like as skinny as her, tiny. That girl weighs like 100 pounds in real life. Like she's like small,
Yeah, she's very small.
Right. So don't judge me.
I'm
my
not.
past relationships.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. I'm not into like stickly girls. I wouldn't say. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure I would be into a stickly girl if she wanted me to be. Not like that either. Into like metaphorically speaking, not figuratively speaking, but yeah.
Okay.
We're probably gonna just go ahead and break this cycle and talk some more about Hagrid.
I love Hagrid.
Yep. Is he one of your favorites? His faves?
Definitely. He's great.
Top 5?
I love him. Top 5.
There's so many characters. Like
There
top
are
5.
so many. I don't know. Maybe 5.
We were talking. Madam Hooch is not in this, and she found out that I think it was Emma Watson was making more than her, or somebody was, and she refused. There were a couple of cases where people refused to either continue with the movie or be included in the movie because their salaries were less than the child actors.
But they're the main characters.
Yeah. Well, in this movie, Daniel Radcliffe didn't even make $1 million.
Really?
Or it was either this one or the next one. I'm sorry, but either way, he didn't make too much, and the the Actors Guild made him renegotiate his contract, so he ended up making like $3 million or something instead of
Wow.
100,000. Like they were really trying to screw these kids, But I think once the managers realized how big of a following Harry Potter has, even before the movies, are like, fuck,
Yeah.
we got to get these kids paid because we got to get paid. But it's kind of shitty. I'm trying to recall who the actor was. Like I said, the biggest issue here is technology. I need to be able to be on the internet at the same time I'm recording. But he flat out refused to do the movies because he wasn't going to get paid what he thought he should be getting paid.
I wonder who it was.
I forget. Some British guy,
Yeah.
clearly. I mean, some asshole. So, whatever. Vern Troyer's in this. We had talked about that earlier. I don't know if I don't think he's British. I've heard the guy talk, and he sounds nothing like a Brit. And I thought it was pretty much all... Because, somebody... I forget the actor. I need to stop saying that, but somebody was cast as Harry Potter. They worked in a movie with the director, Christopher Columbus, before this. Chris Columbus, not Christopher, apparently. But regardless, the actor that was originally cast as Harry had been in a movie directed by Chris Columbus before this, and he didn't know that he was not British.
Yeah, the Lemony Snicket's kid.
Until they were... Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Freddie Highmore? Is that him?
I have no idea.
And he was in that movie where Julia Roberts is his stepmom. I think it's called Stepmom. And fucking Susan Sarandon has cancer.
Yeah.
Ed Harris is his dad. And that one girl's his relation as well. I don't know. Let's move on.
Okay.
McGonagall. She's kind of
She's definitely my top 5.
Ooh, nice. You're just going to come out and say, you're like, I love Hagrid. You don't really say much about McGonagall except top 5.
She's awesome.
Just
I don't know.
immediately.
There's a lot of things I like about her.
Draco's in my bottom 5. Neville's in your top 5.
Yep.
We're already making a list here. We're already rounding it out pretty much.
There's 3 in my top 5
I know. You got to think. You seem like a Dumbledore type of girl, too, for some reason.
I do like Dumbledore a lot. He'd have to be in there, too.
He's dreamy.
No.
Like, you're just like,
He's really cool.
do
He's
like
Dumbledore.
I know. He's the dumb bull doer. Yeah, and then he gets portrayed by another guy because he dies. I can't stress that enough. I think the next one he's only in the next one. I forget. I keep forgetting. Jesus, maybe these bowls aren't helping me.
Probably not.
But the actor that portrays Dumbledore in the first 2 movies ends up, dying. So they had to recast it with Michael Gambon famously from the movie Toys with Robin Williams. But it's weird to recast such a big character like that. And to be perfectly honest, I like the second Dumbledore better than the first Dumbledore.
Oh, it's so hard to say.
Not for me.
I
I just
don't-
come out and say it. I
Oh.
feel that he did a better job. For some reason,
They
think
both
it-
did really good jobs.
I think it was the voice. It was just a little more, had a little more
He's more peppy.
character. or
He's
something.
more.
He is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Dumbledore's super serious.
Yeah.
But I guess on his deathbed, he was telling him, do not recast this part. Like, I will be
What?
back. Yeah.
I will be back.
Well, I'm paraphrasing here. I will be back. Do not recast this part. But yeah, no, he was. He insisted not to recast the part, even though he was like on his deathbed, literally. And then he died, and they're like, "Well, sorry, we're gonna have to recast it anyway." But he really tried. Yeah, This Dumbledore's very stately.
Yeah.
He's just like, I am the headmaster sort of guy. The next Dumbledore seems like the headmaster, but also like your cool uncle.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It might have to go along with the story about because I need to calm down, gather my thoughts, stop remembering things, forgetting stuff. Oh my god, this is horrible. But as the movies progress, Dumbledore kind of lets Harry know a little bit more. Well, not only Harry, but the rest of the characters know more about what's going on. That he trusts them more and starts like giving them more information, and he becomes more essential to the plot sort of thing. And I think maybe that's why I like him more. He shows a little more of his humanity,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
I think a lot of it he tries to get them to figure it out on their own. He just gives them like hints about things. But
Right,
a lot.
yeah. He's a good
Yeah.
teacher.
He is.
Oh, the sorting hat. I like this thing. Megan, where's your sorting hat? Looks like you took it off.
I
It's
did
okay.
take
It
it
doesn't
off.
have a face though, so
No,
poop
it's
on
really
it.
lame.
Well, I think your boyfriend is gonna start playing some music soon.
Yeah.
You have to support that guy.
Yeah,
He's a good guy.
he is.
I'm gonna finish. I guess I'll finish the segment off. We'll see how well I can handle it by myself.
Okay.
So feel free to say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
She'll be back. We'll have her back for the. It'll be really quick, I promise. It'll be insane. I'm gonna give you a little spiel about what we're doing here, and I'm gonna finish talking about the movie a little bit, and she'll be back. It's pretty crazy how we can edit that stuff in. It's great. But as you see here, or maybe do not see, Harry starts rubbing his little scar, and the camera immediately cuts to Severus Snape. And I swear to God, they set this guy up to be some kind of awful man, or like that he's sabotaging Harry, but whatever. Oh, Megan, you haven't left yet, but that's okay. It's okay. We like you here. It doesn't matter. So Ron, huh? Another Weasley.
I love Ron Weasley.
That's what I was saying. There's so many fucking Weasleys. It's like, oh, another goddamn Weasley.
My top 5 cannot include the 3 main characters.
Okay, yeah, okay.
It's
So
a given.
by the end of the series, we'll both have a top 5,
Okay.
and
Man, I already did most of mine.
it's okay. No, I mean you can definitely rehash it or
Top
whatever.
10.
It's okay.
Okay.
Harry's about to be sorted. I wonder where he goes.
Huh, I wonder.
Oh, I wonder where all his friends went just before. They do. The hat does think he should go to Slytherin at some point, though, because all of the greatest wizards have come through. Well, I mean, is that what it is? What is it?
It's
It's like talent or something. Well, he just said talent, but yeah, it's something like maybe they would challenge him.
I think it just says that, like, he'd be great in Slytherin, or he's about to say it.
Yeah, he'll excel or something.
Yeah.
But the hat goes into consideration.
It could be great. Yeah. There you go.
Exactly, like the hat's saying it doesn't matter what house you're in. But
Right.
either house will help you on your way to greatness, including Slytherin, which seems to be the evil one. Well, get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Miss. Okay.
God.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Well, Harry is going to will it to happen, and he just did. He's going to the House of Gryffindor, and everybody cheers for that, apparently, because he got what he wanted. He's kind of spoiled this whole time. I just mumbled, but I said he's spoiled this whole time. And we just saw Madame Hooch on stage. She is not in the next one, and she is one of the actresses that did not believe she was getting paid enough, so she's like, fuck off and die. I'm the Hooch. You need me. I think they did just fine without her, so fuck her. Now we're going to have a whole... Dumbledore's going to go ahead and show some of his powers. It's not crazy, except that he can feed 1,000 children at the swipe of a hand. And guess who's going to take advantage of that? The dipshit Ron Weasley. He's double fisting chicken legs. Like a little asshole. But that happens. Fruit, sticks of various things. And now Megan's back. It's pretty crazy. This would be a good time to let you know that you should go on Facebook and like us. Leave some comments. We'd like to chat around with our audience. Also find us on Twitter at movie_buzzed, and we are on Instagram as well. So go ahead, head over there. Let us know what you think about the show. Suggest some movies you'd like me to watch, us to watch, what have you. And now is also a good time to let you know we are a part of the ProCreate team. We are an official Procast on their show. And basically what ProCreate is, they help artists in film and music, digital art, podcasting, fine art, stuff like that, to connect, collaborate on projects. So make sure you check them out at teamprocreate.com to find out more. You can also find our podcast on there. There are also 2 other podcasts that they're getting up and running. They do movie reviews. They also post jobs for like acting and editors, musicians, stuff like that. So it's obviously a pretty cool thing. So like I said, check them out, teamprocreate.com. We're going to, through the magic of internet podcast editing audio, we're going to welcome back Megan into the studio. She went to visit her boyfriend. He's playing a show tonight, huh? Or he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went really well. They did really good.
How did you handle the show? I heard it's pretty touchy there.
It was pretty bad. I had a pretty bad night.
Yeah, because you combined cookies, edible cookies, and butterbeer, and then you made some brownies apparently.
Yeah.
So how'd your night end?
Well, it was me on the couch, passed out, and then I had to have my boyfriend drive me home.
Nice.
And it was just a big, like, I had to move my car, but I couldn't even do it. I couldn't even figure out how to put my car in reverse. It was
It's the R.
terrible.
It's the R.
It was, right. I could not do it.
That happens. It's okay.
Awful.
Well, welcome back to the movie.
Thank you.
Since you're here, you want to mix us up some butterbeers there?
I think I can probably
Why
do
not?
that.
Oh, I forgot to get the whipped cream, but that happens.
Okay.
And while you do that, I'm gonna. Where are we at in the movie? They're finally like kind of going around here, and learning a little bit more about Hogwarts. What are these paintings? They talk, right? And they allow them to go into different rooms. I don't know. Yeah, are they magically inclined? Did they used to be magicians? Do you know? It is a weird question. It's hard to ask you from so far away. They're enchanted. Okay.
They interact with each other. Like the other paintings can go into the other paintings.
Oh yeah.
Around
Okay.
the building and stuff,
Right.
And you.
Didn't at one point isn't like one of them kidnapped or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can actually interact with the world. It's a very strange thing.
It's pretty cool.
There are the outfits. It's a nice little tie they got. You gave me one of those. I appreciate that tie. All the children sleep together like it's some kind of camp or something. Yep, bust open that cream soda there, making all that noise. No, it's okay. It fills space. That's basically what this is. It's an endurance challenge to fill space. Sort of. It happens. It's okay though. It's gonna be a 2-part episode actually because it runs so long. Those interviews, we did some interviews. They lasted about 2.5 hours or so for 4 people. So we're going to split it off into a 4-parter, and we're going to splice in those interviews so it sounds like we're doing them real time. So, like I said, the magic of movie editing. And if you're keeping track right now, we're at 50 minutes, 30 seconds, right around there in the movie. And now we get to see the kids. This is like the first time we actually get to see them in class all together learning. That's Hermione's forte. She's the brains. There's Harry and Ron late. I think Ron probably influences Harry to be late, I would say, and not vice versa.
Yeah, you're probably right.
McGonagall. There she is. What's that called? Is that an ability to shapeshift? Transfiguration? Something like that?
Yeah.
Maybe I should have had a better expert on. Like, it's an interesting thing. I can't really answer that question, but we'll get to it. It's okay. There's gonna be 3 more movies coming out. I hear.
Oh, I heard it was like a TV series.
No, is a Buttershots almost gone?
It's Frozen.
Oh, okay, nice. Frozen. Oh, okay, because the alcohol content isn't that high because it's a schnapps. But you're doing pretty good there. Milking the teat, so to speak. And there's my favorite character, Professor Snape. I like him a lot. As played.
Snape is your favorite character?
Yep. As played by Alan Rickman.
I do love Alan Rickman.
I do too. And it lends credence to the movie. They get all these serious actors. I actually have a question later on too about old Albus. What's his middle name? Like Steven or something?
Oh my gosh. He's got like 5 names.
Yeah, it's really funny. They do say that at one point in the movies. Did you add everything in there?
Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
Just have to put whipped cream on top.
Oh yeah, whipped cream on top. That's the kicker right there. Brew Glory, Bottle Fame, Put a Stop. What are those things?
He's writing down what Snape was saying.
Oh, okay.
He's taking notes. He's being a good kid.
He's taking notes and he's getting punished for it.
Yeah.
Snape has this weird fixation on Harry that we slowly get to learn about. It's kind of weird. Freaks me out a little bit.
That it's because, you know, he looks like
Because
his
he's a big.
father,
Oh, okay.
and he didn't like his, you know, Snape didn't like James.
Yeah, we find out a little more about that why.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, my initial feeling was that the guy was just, you know, the bad guy. They set him up to be that way, you know.
Yes.
They definitely set that up. Oh, Hermione is one of those too. Always got her hand up. Anybody else? Jesus. She's like standing up. She really wants to be picked super bad. It happens.
I love Hermione.
Yeah, she's a pretty good ingenue. Was that what they call those? I forget. There's different terms for the... Who's that kid again?
That is Seamus Finnegan.
What? Is it?
Yeah.
The one that keeps blowing shit up?
Yeah. he's one of my... I like him a lot.
One of these people, one of those kids got arrested for, like, drugs at one point. It might have been him.
Really?
And one of them, like, died or something.
No.
It's one of Draco's buds.
Oh.
It's not him.
Well, I know one of them wasn't in the later movies, so that makes sense. I was wondering why.
The chubby white kid. That's all I got.
Crab or Goyle, one of the two.
Yeah, one of those two, but he got busted for drugs or something.
He looks like the type.
Speaking of drugs, these owls are just flying in, dropping off things. I would feel like I'm on drugs if that happened. So how's this batch of butterbeer?
Mine tastes pretty good. Yours has more cream soda than last time, and that's what you wanted. Right?
Okay.
Because it wasn't...
Sure.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
I think so. It didn't have enough last time.
Just be careful hitting that table there.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay. I have to explain it to everybody.
Yeah, okay.
I've gone over this before with multiple people.
And take my shoes off. That'll help.
It's nearly goddamn impossible to edit out like anything during watching the movie and keep it on a steady basis so people can watch along if they want.
Right.
So anytime there's a sound, I have to go out of my way to explain it. And sometimes it's me. It's usually the co-host, so I feel bad, but I have to call people out. It happens.
Okay.
So don't feel bad. It's happened to more than one person, and it will continue to happen.
I'm sure.
Yeah. This will be our second episode on the ProCreate website. It's pretty exciting. We're starting to get a little headway going here.
Cool.
We got some special guest book lately that are kind of exciting. I don't want to ruin it. One of them has to do with the show, with the movie, actually. I will say he was an actor in the series, so we got that to look forward to. Here we go. Broom class? What do they call this? Advanced flying or something?
Well, it's something like... I don't know what the
I like Madam.
class is called.
I like Madam Hooch, too. She's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
She's kind of bitchy, but I like it.
Yeah.
Because you have to be, with flying, you have to be safe. No one listens to her, though. It doesn't matter. This is a pretty good scene here.
Yeah, I like it.
They go over a lot more. I need to read the books. That's where it's at.
Yeah, it really is.
That's where I stand. Basically, Malfoy. What a
Ugh,
dick. I hate that guy.
Me too.
We're going to learn a little bit more about him later. We have a Harry Potter fan fiction writer. She's going to do a little skit for us that we're going to interpret probably pretty horribly, but, it happens. Yeah. Did Ron get hit in the face or somebody? He's always fucking up. He can't help it.
Yeah.
It's so funny because, isn't his dad like a pureblood or whatever, right? Like one of the few remaining.
I think that's... Yes.
And Ron's kind of a fuck up. More or less.
He's a dummy. I mean, they describe him in the books as being,
he's a dumb
tall and, clumsy, or, he's awkward looking and...
This,
No?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, even that face looks weird, but I know, but it's the hot damn. You can always taste that like the
Yeah.
most. It's real strong.
I didn't put as much. See, they're not pink.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll go with it.
Well,
They
why
were in
aren't-
the beginning.
Why aren't they pink? They were totally pink last
I
time.
think the other cream soda was like clear, and this is like
Oh,
amber
I
colored
see.
or whatever you want
That
to say.
makes sense.
I don't know. It tastes really syrupy, but I like it. I think that's why I like it.
I think mine's perfect. I put a full can of soda in mine.
Who's that fuck there? Is that Neville?
That's Neville.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely one of my like favorite characters.
The CGI Neville. They said they weren't really too proud of the CGI in this
Oh,
movie.
it couldn't have been. That was terrible.
Yeah, but I mean,
It was like what 2001.
it was believable enough. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think they pumped the kind of budget into this thing as other like big movies. Like they had to build a lot of sets, I know, on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But the most money they spent was, I think, on like this set or whatever, because that's actual, stone and stuff, and it actually ended up surviving throughout the recording process.
They built that whole thing.
I don't know if they built the whole castle, but like a big part of it,
Oh.
like the common room and stuff, or not the common room, the cafeterium, whatever you want to call that place.
The Great Hall.
Yeah, whatever. They, but they built one of these, Either way.
They have a place in I believe in London where you can visit, like you can see all the sets throughout the series. It's
Sweet.
It's pretty cool. I want to go real bad.
Well, they built one of them with these stones, and it was able to withstand everything, like crew and stuff. So I'm sure that's probably one of the sets you're talking about. Can't be too sure. Those brooms don't look too effective. Like as brooms, maybe flying. Yeah, they have a good aesthetic look to them, but I don't know. Fucking Draco. What happened? Doesn't he? Doesn't Neville I think break his ankle or something like that? I forget what it ends up being.
Oh no, I don't. I
No.
don't know. Oh, he breaks his.
I thought-
It was his wrist.
Yeah, he
Yes,
fractured his wrist or something weird.
Yeah.
And then the teacher leaves and tells him not to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they don't listen to that.
Of course.
We got McGonagall. Isn't she? Well, she's at a Gryffindor house, right?
Yeah.
So doesn't that mean she is in charge of the Quidditch? Something or other. Like based on this, she appoints him the Seeker.
I think she just like suggests it to the captain.
Oh, okay.
Or something of the sort.
Oh my gosh, you need to get more on it.
Well, we're gonna see.
I have all these fucking
it's
questions.
gonna happen.
I have all these questions, and you can't answer them for me.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm terrible.
It's all right.
I'll be more prepared next time.
It's all right. We're about to get into some Quidditch, and we're going to have our special Quidditch guest on in a little bit, Christy Wright. She is a Quidditch representative. That's what we'll refer to her as. Who's Wood? Oh, is that the
Oliver Wood. Yeah, that's the captain.
the captain? Okay. Okay, there it is. Quirrell. I liked him. Even though
Yeah, I mean,
you find out about him, but he's like kind of like the goofy,
yeah,
he's
he
kind of
seems-
inept.
He seems like he'd be, a cool little character until the end.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy to know. There's a nearly headless
Nearly headless. Mm-hmm.
Nicholas or whatever. Why nearly headless? And then his head nearly comes off, and you find out why. It's a good cameo, John Cleese. I like him.
Yeah, and one thing they don't really talk about in the movies is that he always tries to be in the headless hunt.
What?
It's like some kind of like a, I don't know, like hunt of some sort. Like I think on horseback or something, and I think they look for their heads, but he doesn't. His head's not completely
nearly there,
unattached,
yeah.
so he can't play. So he's always talking about that.
Aw, poor nearly headless Nicholas. That happens. Wasn't he some kind of like famous conquistador or something? I'm just curious about these ghosts. I don't know.
Yeah, there's
They
a
just
lot.
show up. Because I read some interesting thing online, and someone was asking about spells, like how they come about, like how they're created, how do they come into existence, like how are these words magically intoned so that they cause a certain spell to happen. I don't know, it's weird.
That is a good question.
You
I
know.
have absolutely no idea. I assume they've been around for a very long time.
Well, there's a lot that goes into it. Like you have to know the words, and you have to have the intent of like this. Like I guess that's the big thing is like being intent on the spell doing something.
And you have to move the wand the right way or
Right.
something.
Flick and
Flick
tug
and
or something.
swish.
flick and switch.
Flick and swish.
Swish and flick.
Flick and tug.
The old flick and tug. It's very hot. It's the whole wizarding world. It's kind of a mystery.
Yeah, look at that. That's a cool little statue.
It is.
I like that.
What is this room?
This is the this is the third floor. They're not allowed on the third floor.
Forbidden. And there's
Yeah.
Mrs.
Mrs.
Norris.
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 She's a pretty cat.
Still just cat. Run! Like, it's not the empty, creepy hallway or anything. It's the fucking cat, apparently. It happens.
That is a pretty creepy hallway.
Yeah, it is. I agree. We're in tune here. What happened?
Why would they run away from the cat
I don't
into
know.
just like some random room? Who knows what's in there? They're not supposed to be there. Let's
Aloha.
unlock the door.
Mara. The door doesn't look like it has any kind of lock. Maybe you should try and open it first. It's a pull, not a push, sort of thing. I don't know what happens. Oh, and what's that? Filch.
Mm-hmm.
He's I think we've gone over this. The groundskeeper.
He's the caretaker,
Right.
or whatever. I
He's-
think Hagrid is the groundskeeper.
Fuck it.
I
We're just
don't
calling
know
him
what the
Hagrid
difference
now.
is.
Did you say Hagrid? I thought you
Well,
said
Hagrid is the groundskeeper.
Oh,
And then
okay.
Filch is the
Custodial staff.
whatever. Yeah, basically, yes.
He likes things in order. I know that much. Oh, there's the Cerebri? I don't know.
It's Fluffy.
Fluffy.
He's a three-headed dog. I don't know what. Then
It's based on some,
Yeah.
but some like real mythical creature. Some
Right.
real mythical creature. Really mythical.
I always really liked Fluffy. I've got a couple like little statues. I have a little bobblehead with three little heads that
Heads
bobble.
that bobble. Nice. I wish I had that. That'd be kind of cool.
It's pretty cool.
It is. I agree. We don't even have our Potter gear on. We're not really in the mood because you left.
I suck.
I know. It happens. Well, I mean,
You know I suck.
for a various number of
fine.
reasons. You need to be more informed. We're not dressed up. And my drink tastes a bunch like cinnamon. So let's step it up. Sorry. I mean, I could say a lot meaner things probably.
Well, why
I
would you
guess.
do that?
I don't know. To keep the show interesting. Oh, this is this? Yeah, it's kind of like a pivotal thing because something happens. Oh no, this isn't the ogre thing. Never mind. Later on. Never mind. This is kind of an important thing though.
Mhm,
Aries learning. So is that the what's his name?
Oliver.
The captain, Oliver.
Oliver Wood.
Hood is teaching him the basics of Quidditch,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's the quaffle.
The quaffle.
Go ahead and explain. Well, I guess you don't have to. We're gonna have somebody on to explain. I forgot about that. Oh, I have to ask those questions. So, but we can give the gist of it. The quaffle's the big ball. It's basically the point
Yeah.
scorer thing.
Well,
The
yeah,
the
right.
main, the snitch. We'll get to that, but this is the how a majority of points are scored
yeah.
until the end, basically. See, that's a
Was it-
question I had too. In
What?
this, is it that they get to a certain amount of points, or is it just when they find?
When they find the snitch, the game
Snitch.
is over.
And
Now that
whoever has the
doesn't
most points win-
necessarily.
okay.
Yeah. Right.
But the snitch is worth 150 points, so basically the game is over unless you've scored at least 16 goals to 0.
Yeah.
Is what because each shot is 10 points, right? I think. Isn't that how it goes?
I think there are different goals or different points, but I'm not sure
okay.
because there are 3 different goals on each side.
Right. I thought they were just the
I'm
same amount. I'm not sure.
Damn it! Why I am so awful. I should know.
And what was he? He was dealing with the bludger there.
Mm-hmm.
They go around and try and knock the not seeker.
The beer.
The beaters?
The
No, the beaters deflect
beaters-
the bludgers.
Yeah.
See,
They just try to knock
The
anybody
chasers.
off their broom. I
chasers,
think,
right? Is that what they do? The chaser. Yeah, they're just trying to fuck people up. Basically, the bludgers are just trying to go wild. They don't have any. They don't have any allegiance. From what I read, they just kind of go wild. They just do what they want. So
Yeah.
it happens. And now he's telling him what the seeker does. And basically, game over. You got to catch this little golden thing. I like it. Doesn't he say? He's like, I like that little ball.
I love this scene how like Harry's like looking at it and Oliver just can't find it. It's right there.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, I don't know where it is.
See, I never even noticed that.
It's so funny.
That's funny.
That always cracks me up.
Well, this is what's that guy's name?
Flitwick.
Yeah, Flintwick. That's what I was saying earlier. The Warwick Davis guy that played the Leprechaun. That's him.
Is that
Or-
him? Because they
no,
changed his
Vern
char-
Troyer. That's Vern Troyer.
That's Vern
But
Troyer.
yeah, but the
Later.
but Warwick Davis does his voice, which is
Oh.
weird. Vern Troyer is actually acting, but Warwick Davis is doing his voice.
Because I think they changed
No,
this
okay.
character altogether.
I got it wrong.
Oh.
Okay, that is actually Warwick Davis. And then the choir director, whatever his name is played by Vern Troyer, but that guy does his voice regardless. Vern Troyer doesn't get to use his real voice. I know that much. So here's the old rub, the flick and twist and tug. Ron just going at it. Jesus.
Eye out.
He's gonna like set the whole fucking place on fire, just going to and fro. Leviosa. This part's funny because you can't hear it, but we can't hear it.
Right.
But they use their British accent, so it's it's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa. Like it sounds like you're just exaggerating the A, but you're actually including an R in there. Leviosa. And speaking of, jeez, even if I just set my drink down, it's like boom. Because these big mugs. Okay. But speaking of levitating, gonna go ahead and hit this special 420 blend mix we got here.
All right.
Feel free to talk while I'm not.
Look at that guy. He's on fire. I love it. Every time.
Yes, that was a perfect comment. Look at that guy. He's on fire. Stupid. And then, Ron makes fun of her. Which is funny because he sounds just like her with the act,
Yeah.
Leviosa, not Leviosa. Like, that sounds the exact same. I wish that intent was more of it than like being able to pronunciate words correctly. Ooh, it's Halloweeny. Well, what I think is going to happen, miss, in the next 8 minutes or so, we're going to get to the interview with our Quidditch player because the match is about to occur, I believe. And even if it's not, we still have the terminology fresh in our minds so we can get to her and people won't be necessarily lost when she's like, the seeker is bludgeoning the beaters. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Exactly. It does. That actually doesn't make any sense. But, good old Neville. So do they celebrate non-Christian and Christian holidays? Do you know? They celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
They go over that in the book, I'm sure. So they celebrate Christmas.
Well, they leave for Christmas break.
Okay.
So,
And actually, I jumped the gun earlier, and this is an important thing. Hermione.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Draco.
It's great acting by the children, by the way.
Yeah.
Dumbledore. But Hermione, has she gone to her room at this point? Or not yet?
She's not here.
Okay, so that's what, okay, she is not.
Yeah.
But they were making fun of her or, giving her a hard time, so she went to her room. She's not aware of the happenings that is happenings, which is that a troll is in the area. I don't know. In the building.
In the building.
Wait, they don't know?
In the dungeon.
Okay, so it's slowly making its way to the main floors. And now we got, who's the leader of the Gryffindor?
That's Percy Weasley.
Oh, is
It's
it?
one of the Weasley brothers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's so many of them.
There are so many of them.
George? Is he one of the twins?
Mm-hmm. Fred and George.
Okay.
And
Percy?
Percy's older than Fred and George. Ron's younger than Fred and George. And there's Ginny
Ginny,
at the
she's
bottom.
the youngest, right?
But there are two older brothers, Bill and
Ginny's
Charlie.
always at the bottom.
What?
I don't know. She's a power bottom. But they found the troll.
There it is.
That thing is fucking nuts. Imagine running into that thing. Just imagine it for a minute. Close your eyes. Yep, you see it? It's a big troll.
I see it.
2 toes on each foot.
Oh my god.
Big blubbering gut.
Ugh.
Those ears. The CGI isn't too terribly bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a troll, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what you get, girls, when you go to the bathroom and cry. Actually, gentlemen, too. When you go to the bathroom and cry, you might be attacked by a troll. So just remember that. Kind of talk your emotions out, is what I'm saying. Don't bottle stuff up. It's good advice here on Movie Buzzed. It helps the more you drink, you give a little more life advice. At least I do. And I love how they're trying to attack the ogre with pieces of wood that he smashed off some door, off the stall door, so I doubt that's even penetrating anything. It barely even gets his attention.
Oh, she would have died. She would be dead.
That frightened. Like, when I first saw this, like, that's when this is one of the first instances where I was like, I think I can deal with this movie, because it's nuts.
Yeah.
Right here is a CGI Harry. From what I read, the momentum would have snapped his neck. So they had to CGI that guy in there.
Yeah, look at that.
And he shoves his wand up his nose. And this is the best too. like how it's so dangerous, you know, like this is the chosen one and he's about to get bludgeoned to death by a giant troll. Wingardium Leviosa.
How did he do that?
The Wingardium,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't talk about that in the spells class, did they? They were just trying to do Leviosa.
Well, that was the whole spell.
Oh, that's the
Wingardium
spell
Leviosa.
in total.
Yeah.
Okay, and they drop Harry. Oh, did his club drop on his head?
Yeah. He levitated it and dropped it on his head.
The way that just happened too, the way he fell, the wand should have like come out the back of his head.
Yeah.
But no, he's okay. Everything's good. I like how no one is like come in here and the troll definitely made some noise.
Right.
You know, he destroyed nearly 4/5 of this restroom, and no one's come to check on these children. They're screaming and like, get out!
Ooh. Troll bogies.
Troll goo. Troll boogers. Oh, there they are. Like all the noise
See,
is
that's
done.
how you should be acting in this scene. They're just like, oh, whatever.
Oh, you know. Well, they go on. She explains that, you know, most first-year students wouldn't even be alive.
Right.
I don't know how they fucking made it. The power of the trio of friends. It's so cheesy. God damn it. It's okay.
Well, they never say that.
It's the
That's not a
power
thing.
of friends. That's another thing I've been starting to do on every episode. Just sing songs. It's kind of strange. I like it though.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that.
It's fun. Yeah, it definitely lets you know what kind of music like influenced me as a child. You know, definitely a lot of weird '80s, early '90s stuff. A lot of Huey Lewis in the News. A lot of Paul Abdul.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can imagine.
A lot of
I
Eurythmics.
know your mom.
Yeah. Like Kenny G, whenever Kenny G comes on, I was like, I know that song. Yanni's pretty cool.
Okay.
I shouldn't say that. I like Yanni, though. It's like, what do they call that? Like world music or something? Not world music, but I don't know. It's very, sets a vibe. It's very cool. I don't know. Don't know how to say it.
I don't know Yanni like at all.
Yeah. 2 ends, 1 eye,
Okay.
permed hair, mustache. Good guy. It happens. There's Quirrell hanging out a little early. Or a little late, a little early. He's hanging out a little longer than everybody, is what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm.
Gets scared by the ogre. Is it an ogre or a troll? They say
It's a
troll. I thought they referred to him as an ogre at some point, but they're probably completely different, and I'm pissing off all these Harry Potter fans. Like, just a fucking ogre has 3 eyes and 4 toes, and a troll has 2 eyes and 2 toes. Yeah. A Slytherin. So do all Slytherins speak the parcel tongue?
No.
No.
No, it's just gosh, that's a
Special
blood
people.
thing, I think.
Okay. It's a blood thing. There's a lot of blood things in this
Yeah.
movie. He's guessing that. See, and they trick you. You got the main character telling you that he thinks that Snape let the troll in last night, so you're led to believe.
That he's the bad guy, and
Right,
he's doing
and,
it right.
I
And
mean,
they're saying it,
who's to say he's not? You know,
right?
who's to say he is? I'm just saying they lead you to believe that he is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's upon initial watch. That's where my head is going. Oh, and here comes Hedwig. What? So he's
What
bringing
could
him.
that be?
Yeah, I wonder what it could be. I think he's saying, "What is it?"
Yeah.
Something like that, you know. Why does he need a new broom?
He doesn't have a broom at all.
Oh, period.
No.
So at the class, was that just
Those are just school brooms.
practice broom?
Mm-hmm. They have
Oh.
brooms that's for school.
It's like school
For class.
basketballs and stuff, so their
Yeah.
brooms suck. It's a Nimbus
Look at
2000.
that,
I know.
wow.
This is very sleek.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
You couldn't sweep with that one either, though.
Do you know if the tail has anything to do with it? Like if
Everything has. to do with
everything
it.
has everything to do with everything.
I mean, what? Right. Well,
well, what
at
is
one
it?
point
Yeah.
he gets like a set to like clean it up and whatever, and it's I don't know. I don't know. I think it has. I mean, I don't know.
Make
I
them
don't know,
before.
dude.
It's okay. I'm just gonna interrupt this. I don't know because I don't know either.
Okay.
And we're not gonna find out.
No.
What we are gonna do is we're gonna pause the fucking movie. Bloop. That bloop sound meant pause. So if you're actually not paused yet, pause and go back like 5 seconds or something to where Oliver Wood is looking down at Harry Potter and his broom's in the shot, and you see one of the Weasley twins directly in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where you're gonna pause it. On my counter, I got 1 hour, 15 minutes, 44 seconds, and we're gonna get to our Quidditch expert, shall we? You want to
Let's
get to
do
that?
it.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
we're
excited.
gonna We're gonna also let you know that the all of our guests are now via the ProCreate guest line. So on the ProCreate phone line, we're gonna go to Christy Wright. How do you feel about that?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and call Quidditch expert Christy Wright. The W.
W. All right.
Ooh, is that loud? It's supposed to be that loud. She needs to hear us. We need to hear her. It's only right.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hello, this is Christy. Well, it is. I talked to you earlier. Hi. This is Zach, and we have Megan here.
Hello.
She is the guest host today. So, your past credentials, you were a chaser. It's Carleton University, correct? I looked up the pronunciation, so I hope it's right.
Carlton, yeah, like a character from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes, that's the immediate connection I made as well, so thank you.
Yeah.
And then you were also a former volunteer for the International Quidditch Association. So is that
I was on the editorial team.
editorial team? And you are also a moderator on the Reddit subreddit for Quidditch, correct?
Yeah.
So you're fairly knowledgeable.
Barely.
So this is what I have to say. It seems to me that there's like a clear division between the groups of people that want to drop the connection of the sport and the Harry Potter series, and then there are those that are involved in the sport because of their interest in the series. And it seems like a sizable number of people say that they're trying to get the sport taken more seriously. I was just curious, what side of the fence do you stand on there? We're gonna get right into it.
You know, it was, I would say much more so a year or two ago. They called it the whimsy versus sport debate.
Ooh.
And, you know, on the one side of the fence, there were people, the whimsy people, who wanted to keep the fact that its origins were from a children's fantasy series. And then there were people who, you know, maybe were ambitious to think that it could be considered a sport insofar as their club would start recognizing it as a sports team. And I think the latter side of the debate is winning at the moment. I would say that I'm leaning towards more of appreciating it as a sport. And the reason I say that is because, you know, originally I was drawn to the sport because of my interest in Harry Potter. But the sport itself is so unique and interesting that ultimately I find much longevity if we see it as something that's more of, I mean, it never was this. Some people think it's like live action role playing.
Yeah.
But really it's a unique sport in itself. It's tact and co-ed. There's no other sport that's like that. And especially as a girl, you know, it's great that I can tackle with the guys. I think it's so much fun. There are 4 balls on the field, and then there's you know, gameplay that's going off the field between the seeker and the snitch. I think it's a really interesting sport as it is. And, you know, it really has seen a lot of evolution. Like the original World Cup, people would play with towels wrapped around their neck like tape. You know, there would be people dressed in garbage bags. You won't see anything like that in Quidditch anymore, and I don't think it's going to make a comeback.
Right. So you're saying that the natural evolution of the game lends itself to kind of separating itself from where it came, because people on the outside, just like anything, like you said, see it as kind of like LARPing or something, instead of it actually being a competitive sport.
That's right. I mean, take World Cup 7, which just happened the first weekend of April. World Cup 7 didn't have any live entertainment, which previous World Cup Sunday, the headlining act was Harry and the Potters, which is a wizard rock group that writes most of their lyrics about plot and narrative and character Harry Potter series. And wizard rock I think was more of a novelty probably about 10 years ago. So when Harry and the Potters played at World Cup 7 this year, very few people went over to see them. I mean, very few athletes, a couple spectators were in the audience, and that's about it. Whereas, you know, a couple years ago at, let's say, World Cup 4, maybe World Cup 5 had more Harry Potter-related things, and I think there was more interest then. Now, when I saw it was all about the game. There wasn't much entertainment on the side. The entertainment was the sport itself, following teams from as high as University of Texas that ultimately won the tournament to brand new teams, you know, from Australia that came to play. It's much more so focused on being seen as a sport now.
That's awesome. That's incredible. how massive it is now.
message people in the town that I go to, and I've been able to play with Vancouver, and I've met some people from teams in Belgium and the UK. There's interest forming in China.
Wow.
I've met some people from Australia, Mexico. I mean, it's all over the place. But I'd say primarily it's focused in the United States and Canada.
I guess my only point was that I'm trying to think of how to word this, I guess. Because I know it's like a very sticky, touchy subject, sort of. Because when I was trying to set up this interview, people were just like, we're trying to, they just started going crazy. I'm like, I just wanted somebody to come on that could explain to me the differences. And you haven't been aggressive or anything, so I really appreciate that. But, my thought is that the two don't necessarily have to be mutually exclusive. Like, it's probably good that players join and are interested because of their interest in the because of their interest in the Harry Potter series. However, it becoming a legitimate sport doesn't lend itself to, like you said, wearing towels as capes and sorts of things. So you have to you can join because you are interested in Harry Potter, but you kind of have to leave your fandom at the door if you really want to, experience the highest levels of the game.
Yeah, and I think that was the crux of the whimsy versus sports debate, in that the sport attracts a lot of Harry Potter fans. And then at the same time, there are people who join the competitive teams who haven't picked up a Harry Potter book or haven't seen any of the movies. I think some of the compromise that's been going on, for example, I know at Carleton they have two teams. They have a competitive team, and then they have a recreational team. And I happened to go to Carleton when the team was formed, and so I remember at the beginnings there were a lot of Harry Potter fans that wanted to join Quidditch just because they were hardcore Harry Potter. They wanted to do anything related to Harry Potter, and I think their idea of what Quidditch was going to be was going to be something more LARPy, and when they realized that they had to run a little bit more than they thought they needed to, or tackle, or have dodgeballs thrown at them, they were sort of disinterested. But then those people ended up just coming to our games to support us. As years have gone by, we have a recreational team, so people can do it just to say, hey, I played Quidditch. And then we have our competitive team that is made up of athletes. And so these are the people that can focus on the athletic side of it. What I love most is that it's community. My favorite memories from college are all the cool people that I met with. Because you have to be open-minded to play a stick between your legs.
Yeah. So that is one of the rules. Then you still have to have the broomstick or something between the legs, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit more about being a chaser, what that means, and the different positions on each team, if you would.
There are 7 players on each team. There are 3 chasers, and they're trying to score on these 3 hoops. And they're trying to score with a quaffle, which is like a volleyball. And the chasers can tackle, but there are a lot of limitations on the type of tackling that you can do, essentially like a rugby tackle, and can score on some in front or behind the goals, and those goals are defended by a keeper. As that game is going on, there are 2 beaters on each team, and they have bludgers, which are dodgeballs, and any player with a bludger, be they chaser, keeper, or another beater, they have to drop whatever ball they have on the spot, run back to their goal post, tap it, and then come back into play. Because if you're hit by a bludger, it's going to stimulate you falling off your broom.
Right.
So you are out of play until you run back to your goal, touch it, and then you can come back. While that is going on, you try to score as many points as possible. And then there's a seeker, who is a person who's dressed in gold. It's usually a cross-country runner, somebody who has great endurance. And at the beginning of the game, he runs out of sight, and the seekers have a seeker floor, about 5-10 minutes, where they stay on the field, and then they can go hunt. And they play a game of hide and seek, and they try to find the snitch. In the movies, it's this little golden ball that flies around, but in what we call Muggle Quidditch, it's a person who's dressed all in gold, and he's fallen velcroed to his back, and so the seekers are supposed to pull that sock thing off of the snitch.
They can run around like the entire campus, right?
Quidditch is mostly a university sport, so snitches often have the liberty to run through the library or run through people's classes, and it just looks silly to have 2 people on brooms running behind this guy dressed in all gold, making a lot of noise and running through campus. The snitch.
Snitch is usually hiding in a building, or he's climbed a tree, or he's put on a trench coat and a hat and is in disguise. There
That's
are no
what I do.
rules, basically. And then after 20 minutes, the seeker is required to come back to the field. And the first seeker to catch the snitch, grabbing that little sock on his back, ends the game and gets 30 points for their team. The team with the most points at the end of it obviously wins. So there's much more emphasis, I would say, on the chaser game and the keepers rather than
Getting the
seekers,
snitch
but
and the game being over.
seekers are a clutch player.
Mm-hmm. Is the game based on like a time limit more than a score cap, or?
As soon as the snitch is caught, it can be 20 minutes, it can be 45 minutes, it can be longer.
Okay, I got
However
you.
long the snitch can evade the seekers.
That helps. That helps a lot. I was like, because this sounds like a never-ending game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's a limit on how much a snitch can run. Can't just, take a train to the next town and never come back.
From what I understand, there's separate sets of referees to kind of referee different types of action that's happening.
Yeah, for a game, for a field that's only about as long as half a soccer field, there are 5 referees going at any time. It's a goal ref on each side, there's a head ref, there's a beater ref, there's a lot going on.
Nice. It sounds like there's a bunch of involvement. I mean, from what I was reading, you said you went to the World Cup. There was 9 fields going on at the same sometimes.
The World Cup used to have upwards of about 100 teams that would go,
Mm-hmm.
and past 2 or 3 years they had a Division 2 league going. And now they put a cap on it at World Cup 7. There were only about 40 teams, and you had to earn your spot there for your region.
That's pretty awesome. That's really cool that
Yeah.
it's evolved from, something that this British lady thought up, writing down in a book, to this legitimate sport that's garnering, regionals, and, you have to be
Yeah.
the best of the best to be where you're at, which is pretty intense. And speaking of which,
Yeah.
you were talking about, it's clearly a co-ed sport. You said there's full-fledged tackling and everything. Megan had a question about that.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, like in the books, they talk about, people getting hurt a lot, really badly. So I was just wondering how bad, you've seen someone get hurt or if you've ever gotten hurt in the game.
That laugh means yes.
Yeah, I'd say quarterfinal game at World Cup 7. Within, I'd say, maybe the first 5 or 10 minutes of gameplay, Drew Wasikowski was out for neck injury. And then there was a really nasty tackle where UFT player was carried out in a neck brace and a stretcher, and the gameplay was paused, and the ambulance came onto the field and wheeled him off. We thought he had snapped his spine. It was a really brutal, just the way that his face hit the ground and slid.
Yeah, oh
And then
gosh.
within about 3 minutes of gameplay after they started that up again, a girl smacked her head during a tackle, and same thing, stretcher, neck brace, carried off the field. She ended up having a concussion. I hear that both players are fine, but with the tackling, it's interesting because it's hard to find safety with that, with the broomsticks,
Mm-hmm.
and not having both hands. You want to be able to tackle people safely. And there's also size differences on the field. I'm more of a smallish girl, and there are some guys who are 200 pounds, and they have to know to pull back when they tackle me. They don't need as much force to take me down. I've had a concussion from Quidditch, from practice, from a tackle. It just, you go down hard enough, and then you smack your face in sometimes. I've seen people dislocate their arm or their shoulders. Right now, I think it's one of the biggest debates, whether we need to start introducing headgear and things like that. But at the moment, there is no protective gear. Some people wear mouth guards, but it is a big concern. But I like that it's rough. I think a lot of people like it that it's rough because, like I said before, there aren't a lot of other sports that I could play where I can tackle co-ed. Just a different game when there are guys and girls on the field.
We're going to get into that, right? It's called Title 9 3/4.
Yeah. So Title 9 3/4 is play on law and the platform 9 3/4 where Harry Potter goes to Hogwarts. And Title 9 3/4 is a code of conduct in regards to gender. The most famous part of that is the fact that 2 people who identify as a different gender as the majority of the team have to be on the field at all times. usually that means 2 girls have to be on the field with guys. And it could be 3 girls, it could be, 4 girls on a team and 2 guys. It's whatever your team can put together. The ratio there that has to be there. And so if you sub somebody in, there still has to be that balance.
Nice. That's really progressive, you know? It is. I mean, like you said, there is literally no other sport where you'll find both male and female sanctioned on the same field, full body contact. And I also think it's kind of cool. It ties in with, there's this big national debate about football, about the safety and tackling. And it's just, it's just as legitimate as any other sport, really. There are the same concerns. There's the same kind of fanfare. There's, a huge World Cup, like you said. And I just think it's really cool, pretty much. That's what it boils down to in my brain. I feel like I'm in Spanish in 7th grade because I've gone over all this terminology and everything, but then once I actually get into a fluent conversation involving it, I have to try really hard. I'm the audience for the podcast. Basically, I'm the audience here, and you guys are the experts. So I appreciate it.
At World Cup 7, I went with 2 people who had never seen Quidditch before. One person had read all the books and seen all the movies, and so he had some idea of how the basics work. And then I had another friend who had seen some of the movies a little bit one time. And yeah, it makes sense when you're watching it if you know what to look for.
Right.
But when you first get there, you have 3 different sports going on at the same time between the rugby, the dodgeball, and the hide and seek game with the snitch, and you're like, what is going on? And the rule book is surprisingly long. It's several hundred pages. I think the last edition was just over 300 pages.
Oh my!
And it's like, how much do you find to write about this sport? But there are quite a few rules.
Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if you celebrate it, have a happy Easter, and if not, have a happy Hitler's death day. Death day, right? It's one of those 2.
Well,
So,
you too.
thank you. Bye.
Alrighty.
Bye.
It's time for movie buzz. It's time for movie buzz. Tell your mom, your sister, and your cousin it's time for movie buzz. Here comes Caleb and Zach, carrying a 6-pack. Come on over, enjoy the fun. It's time for movie buzz. Yeah, come on over, enjoy the fun. It's time for movie buzz.